Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just trying to send out the live invitations. Give me a minute here. I'm sorry, the nails prevents you from doing it as fast as you would like, or I would like. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Hey, Flex. Hi, Boo. All right, guys. We are going to be talking to the wonderful, talented, and amazing Dr. Tyra today. And here
Hey,
she is.
what's up,
Hello.
Lavenda? How are
I am
you?
good. Happy to have you finally.
I know. Happy Monday and all that good stuff.
Yes, happy Monday.
So, how
Happy
are you
Monday,
today?
everyone. Thank you
Happy
all
Monday,
for tuning
everybody.
in.
How?
So, everyone, please go ahead and continue to share for Dr. Tyra and I.
Yes,
Okay, so everybody can get this information.
you got that right.
So,
We about to have some woman talk here.
yes. So, Dr. Tyra, please introduce yourself to the Essential family.
Well, hello, Essential Family. My name is Tyra
Thank you,
Gardner. I
Gossiping
am
Kids.
a psychotherapist and nationally certified anger management specialist, and newly got my I'm certified as an addictions counselor. Getting ready for my exam now, so I could have my certification as an addictions counselor. And I'm just an all around. I try to be an all around positive person.
I think you are. I don't think you try. I think you are.
You know
I
what?
think
I
you
try.
do.
You know what? I try because you know what? I have my moments too.
Well, congratulations on your prior and previous
Thank
accomplishments.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you. Thank you.
right?
Thank you.
So, Dr. Tyra, the
Yes,
reason I
ma'am.
wanted to interview you so badly here is because of the anger management profession.
Yes.
And I deal with a lot of people who have children who may be going through maybe identity crisis or the fact that they're
hmm
not socializing as much during this pandemic.
hmm
So, what advice do you have for them?
Oh my gosh, this past year has been difficult for a lot of children, and I know it's been way difficult for the parents because of some of the issues that some of the children do have. One recommendation I would give in regards to socializations, with the children, try to keep everything as normal as you can with the children. So, with that being said, with our new normal being as it is right now, find activities that you can actually do with them in the home to keep it fun, especially when you have a lot of children. And I mean, and it was so funny because the person I was supposed to have on yesterday, IG wasn't working with us. And I'm actually, I think she's one that I'm definitely going to send you her way because
Mm-hmm,
her name is Kiana Thomas,
mm-hmm,
and she actually works with children. She's a school teacher by trade, and
mm-hmm.
she's been helping parents with
Okay.
creating activities to do with their children at home. And she's, her and
Okay.
her husband, they have 5 children, and it's just, yeah. So definitely,
Yeah,
I'm going to have her on IG as soon as we can get this figured out.
I would really appreciate that.
But yeah, she is one. I mean, I have started working with her basically because I do business therapy,
Mm-hmm.
and I help business professionals with finding other niches as in addition to being able to do what they can to make more money. I'm
Okay.
all about helping people find other alternatives so that they can make additional funds because at the end of the day, it's not just one person's money. Everybody should be able to get it. So
Agreed.
that's how her and I, started, working together. And I was like, oh my goodness, get this stuff out here. She created lesson plans, activity plans, everything for parents trying to, do what they can with the
Keep those
children
kids active and
to keep them
well,
active.
I guess entertained is the word, right?
Yeah, pretty
Because they
much.
get
Yeah.
really bored in the routine.
Right.
School was
Right.
an outlet. Um,
It was.
Even though
Right.
they didn't like going, now they
hmm
appreciate it.
hmm
Now that it's been taken
But the
away.
But you know what? The reason I say active instead of entertain is because active means they learning.
Mm-hmm.
And and when you keep your mind active, you're learning more. Because when you're
Yes.
entertained, yeah, is when you're entertained, you're not paying attention to much. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But with active, they exercising their body, they're exercising their mind, they exercising and doing everything that they need to do to basically give their own self care. Because kids need self care too.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Now, when you
Especially our
exactly.
preteens and teens.
Oh my goodness, because yeah, that's the worst. That age group right there, they the ones that really give it to you. So definitely.
Definitely.
Now, with children that have anger and behavior issues, we definitely have to keep them as active as we can because we
Okay.
know it's easy for them to get into things.
Okay.
So we definitely have to, everybody that has children, your child.
Well, they
Okay,
should.
that's number one.
They
Or they
should.
they should know their child. Yeah, you got
Yes.
that right. They should. They
Mm-hmm.
should know their child. So if you do know your child, you know what type of things keep them active, keep them engaged, keep them wanting to, know wanting to learn. When I was working with kids from ages 5 to 18 that were in a behavior program, and they had a number of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when it came to the teenagers, I love working with teenagers because
Me
my
too.
thing is they're little miniature adults,
Me too.
and it's like trying to you like it too. But the thing is, it's like when with them you have to sit down and make them think
Mm-hmm.
about, like, I would sit there with the kids. I'm like, why are you at home fighting with your parents? You 14, 15-year-old, what are you doing? And they be like, what you talking about, Miss Tyra? I could do. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, dog, it don't go like that. I'm like, look, this is how it's going to go down. Listen to the schedule I'm about to present to you, and you're going to do it, and think about this as your new schedule. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, and so I would break down with, okay, what time you go to school in the morning? They like, well, I leave home about 6:30. All right, so you leave home at 6:30 to go to school. Okay, so you're at school from 6:30 to what? They would go, oh, 6:30 to 12, 1. And I'm like, okay, 1 o'clock. Okay, so what are you doing when you leave school? Well, I've been looking for a job. Okay, so let's say you got a job. You go to work at what time? They like 2 o'clock, then you'll work at your job from 2 or 3 o'clock to
Mm-hmm.
what time? And then they be like, I probably won't get off to 7, 8 o'clock. And I go home, I'm tired, I'm going to bed.
Mm.
Okay, so how much activity time do you have with your parents that you got time to argue, fight, or do anything with these people? There's like none. I said, how often are you seeing them? None. I said, okay. So one of the kids was actually working at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so funny because he was actually working. So he started paying attention to his behaviors, and he was like, you know what? We get along better now because I only see them on the weekends. And I was
Right.
just like, I said, the thing is, I said, you got to think smart, not hard when it comes to communicating with your family. Whether it's communicating with your parents, communicating with your teachers, you got to keep the lines of communication open and keep the lines of communication positive because it's so easy to get into that negative mindset. Now, with the little children, working with them is a little bit harder
Mm-hmm.
because they get into a lot of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the little children, you have to be really strategic. So you really have to know your children when you have the small ones.
Well,
Because
Doc,
if
I
you
have
don't,
questions.
what's up? Go ahead.
I have questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Mhm.
with the little ones, I think keeping them engaged is
Mhm.
the most important part. The little
Yes.
ones.
Yep.
But now we're going into the 10 to maybe 17, 16 range here for me,
Tweens. Okay.
right?
Mhm.
I feel like they're maturing a lot
Mhm.
faster
Right.
than days of old. Hello,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you for joining.
Hey,
Right? We don't want to be
everybody.
rude, but we're having this
Hi,
discussion.
everybody. I know we act like we talking to each other
Right?
with.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like um they the respect level
Mhm.
for these age groups is almost non-existent at some
Right.
point.
It's out the window.
They forget the fact that
Mhm.
they're not yet adults
Right.
and that the adults still have to parent.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think my advice to the parents and the
Mm-hmm.
children are
Mm-hmm.
to know your roles and to keep them at all times. It's good to, have a relationship, so to speak, with your children
Mm-hmm.
outside of being a parent,
Right.
but you have to remind them constantly what the roles here are. You can't
Mm-hmm.
confuse the two, because I think that's where a lot of the conflict with children come in nowadays is the
Mm-hmm.
parents pick and choose when to parent, and then they're
Right, because
confused.
exactly, because the thing is, a lot of parents with the whole picking and choosing, they're choosing to be friends, not parents.
And then they want to be parents when an outside source, teacher, principal, or somebody else has to correct their child about something that they dropped the ball on.
No, not necessarily. Because I've been
I've
seeing
seen,
some, yeah, I've been seeing some that they truly just they like it's whatever.
yeah,
You
and
know,
that's sad.
they side with the child, not hearing out what's going on the professional end, and all chaos happens.
Yeah,
You know,
I've seen that part too.
which is also, a really large problem that we have in all communities. At this point, we can't even, it's not even like we can label it as a race, because it's everybody is
Yeah,
experiencing these problems
absolutely.
right now.
Hmm.
You know, Meech.
I drop kids. Me too.
Well, don't say that too loud, because we don't want nobody trying to come get y'all.
Nothing was broken.
It was so funny because when I had this one little girl, she used to tell us all the time, the state said they can hit you from here to here. And I used to be like, who told you that? And she's just like, as long as it doesn't bruise. And I was just like, okay, so is this what's happening in your house? Like, will you stop telling people
They're
that?
ridiculous. They're ridiculous. So,
Yeah, yeah, anything. I mean, and the thing is, some kids, parents won't know it, but people who are some professionals will know it, and some outside relatives will know it.
oh, you can
You can
definitely know
pretty
when a
pick
child
up.
is being
You can
abused.
pick up when there's abuse happening, or you can also pick up when when a child is going to be, how can I put it,
Disciplined.
somewhat of a discipline problem. Just by the response.
Hmm. Hmm.
How the thing is, what we got to remember is children are sponges.
Hmm.
Whatever behaviors that we do, they see, and they will also do. They will pretty much do everything we do, and it will come out 10 times worse, of
Yeah.
course.
Hmm.
The language, we definitely have to keep in mind what language we use around the children. We have to keep in mind, you know how we react to other people, because
People.
see, the thing is, if we out, like we see, we all on social media, hello, we see all the videos. Now come on, if a child see their parents outside kicking and fighting and screaming and doing all that stuff, what make us think
They're
that
not gonna do
they're
it.
not going to do it too? Or even if it, I'm gonna say it like this, even if it don't happen in your household, they seen little Sarah down the street, they seen her family doing it, and they think it's okay
Yep.
because they watch these people doing it, and we know it ain't okay.
Yep.
So we definitely have to make sure that, what we're telling our children and what we're allowing our children to see in regards to what they're exposed to, we got to
Absolutely.
make sure that what they're exposed to is totally healthy.
Hmm.
And granted, I'm not going to sit here and preach and be like, oh, do this, put these alerts on this, that, and the other. No, I'm not going to say that, because at the end of the day, we do enough to try to keep our kids as sheltered and less exposed to things as possible. Granted, at the end of the day, we can't monitor every single thing,
Every single thing, every single minute of every
because
single
they
day.
need, right, because at this point they do need some freedom.
Yeah.
Especially with now we are officially 12 months in today,
Hmm.
to this whole, pandemic, quarantine, all of this that's been going on, so it's like we have to find some kind of a way to, how can I put it, set boundaries with the kids.
Hmm.
Boundaries
Yes,
is number
Meech.
one.
Get
Yeah,
schedules
beach,
are
yeah,
important.
schedules is
Very,
very
very,
important.
very, very important.
Very important.
Not only for them, but for
Mm-hmm.
the parents and the teachers and everybody that has to deal with them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. But my thing is setting things to do lists. Giving the kids chores,
Mm-hmm.
because some
Oh,
people don't
that,
even give chores to their
yeah.
kids. And it's just like, and it's so funny because people look kids, if you don't educate them about finances,
Mm,
okay. I was educated. My parents sat me down at the age of 10 years old and showed me how to balance a checkbook.
mm.
I was devastated when I seen how
She
much
said
was
she was
left.
devastated.
When I seen how much was left, and I had been begging, I'm like, girl, that was back in the day. I wanted, what did I want? Oh my God, I wanted, it was something, what was them TI, one of them TI sweatsuits and some Adidas sneakers or something I wanted, or a Pepsi shirt or something. And my mom and dad sat me down, you go through that and see what was left. When I saw what was left, here I go, well, how am I going to get? You're not.
Yeah.
But at that point, you just, it was like, okay, now things is getting real, and
Right.
a lot of parents don't sit their kids down and educate them on financial education,
Yeah.
which they really should, because they really need to know what's really going on. I mean, I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
sit down and have them go all through your household finances and everything,
Yes.
but what I'm saying is, you have to sit down and really, educate them on things that's going on in the household,
Yes.
because at the same time, the respect given is respect earned. But
Mm-hmm.
we need the kids to know that at the end of the day, you are the parent and you will respect me and respect the
That's the
rules
part.
of this household. And that's the part that a lot of parents have trouble with,
Yeah. That's the
um
part.
and I mean, we've seen, I know in my family we had a tragedy some years ago,
Mm-hmm.
with one of my teenage cousins who did not listen
Mm-hmm.
to her mother. And I just remember, I think she was like 17, 16, 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
She had just had a baby, and which her mom was already pissed about that,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because she was still in high school and then had this baby. And I just remember, her mom told her not to go to a party. It was around Thanksgiving weekend or something, and they said,
Mm.
"Don't go to this party. Don't go to this party." And my cousin went out. I guess I don't know where she went. She went out somewhere, however the case may be. Next thing I know, we got a call that her daughter was murdered. You see what I'm saying? She left the baby home with her siblings to watch while she went to this party. You know what I mean? And so it's like you can't stress enough with saying, listen to your parents, when they're telling you don't do something.
Yeah.
And but then I will say also with parents, also remember to tell your kids, guess who else was a teenager once?
I say that all the time, Doc.
I was a teenager once too. And, and granted, because the bottom line is you don't want that relative,
Mm-hmm.
that one, everybody got that one relative, right?
Mm-hmm.
That will go and will tell your kids everything.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? They will tell everything,
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that relative to be telling everything. So what you want is you want to be the one. You want to be the one to tell your kids things. I'm not
Mm.
saying tell everything,
My
but
mom
what I'm
used to say
saying
that
is
too.
just being able to tell what you think.
Yeah. Give your kids your perspective
Mm-hmm.
of things. My
Yeah.
mom used to say that too. She used to say the schoolmaster was once a schoolboy. So
Mm-hmm.
don't try to pull nothing over me. Just be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Because
Mm-hmm.
whatever's done in the dark eventually comes to light. So I think she used to,
Oh yeah. Oh
scare us
yeah.
with that.
Yep.
And then she used to always say too, like, I'm gonna try to be as transparent and open with you guys as possible because I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather
Mm-hmm.
you hear it from me before you
Mm-hmm.
hear it outside.
Right.
So anything you guys want to talk to me about, feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. So my mother
Right.
always gave us that,
Mm-hmm.
that openness, and I'm the same way with my children.
Yep.
However, I think
Mm-hmm.
when you build a bond or a cool relationship with your kids, some
Yeah.
kids take advantage, right?
Oh, girl, yeah, they
Some
will
kids
take
take
advantage.
advantage.
Oh gosh, yeah, they will take
And
advantage
when
as
my
long
kids,
as
I
they.
see that they take advantage, I sit them
Mm-hmm.
down and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, put yourself in my shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
a parent and you do everything for your kids. You make sure,
Mm-hmm.
you have everything that you need, that you want, some things
Mm-hmm.
that you don't want,
Right.
or I mean, that you don't need, and you have it
Mm-hmm.
all.
Right.
And then the only thing you're required to do is
Mm-hmm.
your chores,
Mm-hmm.
and go to school and get
Mm-hmm.
the best grades you can, because not all kids
Yes.
are A students. So don't
Right.
force that upon your kids either. Just
Right.
require them to do the
Mm-hmm.
best that they can and apply themselves.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
Please do not force those type of things on your children, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of kids fall under that pressure, and it's your
Mm-hmm.
fault. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yep.
don't do that to my kids. All
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
So I'm not even requiring straight A's at
Mm-hmm.
all,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't even do that.
Right. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, especially when you don't have, when you're just telling them, I just want you to pass. I want you to do your best, but let me see that you have done your best.
Right? So
I
I'm
mean,
saying,
it's not much to ask for.
right. So I'm saying, all right. So I've done my part as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Do you
Right.
think I've done my part as a parent? And if they say yes, I'm like, so
Mm-hmm.
okay. So what do you think now
Right. Mm-hmm.
is fair? Because
Right.
when you have to talk to them and when you have to punish them, you're the most
Mm-hmm.
unfair, unreasonable person on God's green
Oh,
earth.
of course, you
Right?
everything but the child of God. When you gotta,
So I'm
when
like,
you have to punish, you everything but the
and I
child of
know people are
God. They
like, oh,
ain't
it's a
trying
kid
to.
who cares. I care, because I want my kids
Mm-hmm.
to understand that,
Right.
one day you're gonna have to be in my position. You have to do these things. It's not, I'm not trying to be a
Mm-hmm.
prick. I'm not trying to be mean, but
Yeah. No.
you have definitely caused this repercussion that's coming down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And if you
Exactly.
can't tell me what you think
Mm-hmm.
the it should be, then
Right. Right. And
you know
Meach put a good point up there. He was saying how when the kids become teenagers, how things hit different.
yeah,
And he's
eh,
he's totally right. He's
it do,
totally right.
it
And
do.
the outside influence is strong,
Strong, very too
especially in the
strong,
city.
too strong.
And it's like, again, you don't want to shelter your
You're welcome,
kids.
First Lady.
You don't want to shelter your kids. However, you just want them to be mindful of who they're hanging out with and their surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard many a stories, that have been, like, whoa, I'm not gonna be the bearer of a whole bunch of negative stories today, but so I'm not gonna share too many.
And it's crazy to me that these kids, their
Hmm.
parents don't know who their friends are.
But you know what? Again, and another thing I will point, with watching who your kids' friends are, also watch who their parents are.
I'm telling you,
Because at the end of the day, like I heard, a story that I was like, it threw me back because
that's an old saying, Meech.
this gentleman was hanging out with a friend, and friend was all good on the right path, but parent wasn't on the right path, and the child ended up getting murdered. You know what I'm saying? And the person, was telling me the story, was like, it was because of his father. And I'm
Mm,
sitting up here like, well, wait a minute, what? And then he proceeded, it's like, oh yeah, his dad was into this. And I believe whatever he did out there on these streets done got his son, as a repercussion. But the son was on a straight path, and was, in college and doing big things, and and it was just like, whoa, piece that we don't, a lot of things we don't think about.
mm-hmm.
So it's like, we know, we might see our kids hanging out with their friends and everything. We gotta, be mindful of the kids' friends, but also be mindful of their friends' parents and what
Yes,
they have going on in their households, because everybody household is different, y'all.
yeah.
And there is no such thing as normal.
So I
Okay.
grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I know you're from
Mhm.
Philadelphia,
Mhm.
and those aren't easy streets, guys. They're
Heck
not.
no.
Right?
Heck
They're not
no.
easy streets.
Mm-mm.
So what it is for us, you had to show us your friends,
Mhm.
and being West Indian raised as well, you wasn't going to everybody's house.
Oh
And if
gosh,
you
no.
did, you
Mm-mm.
weren't spending the night.
I only spent
Right?
the night at
You were not.
three people's
Yeah.
houses.
There's no sleeping over unless it's family, and that's
Yes.
selective too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Grandma,
Yes.
certain aunts and stuff like that,
Yes.
right? So,
Uh-huh.
mm-mm,
So I
no.
remember, look, I remember being a little kid, and it was like I said, I only had three friends that I could actually spend the night over their house. All
Yep.
my other friends, we lived so close to each other, we didn't have to spend the night at each other's house because we stayed out so late.
Yeah. I
It
had
was like we spent the night.
I have mostly uncles, so I grew up around a bunch of men, right?
Okay. Okay.
And they were seriously like overprotective of me
Mhm.
and my sister. So, and
Okay.
they had, and of course, more men because they
Uh
have
huh.
friends and stuff like that. So it's a bunch of
Yeah.
guys all the time. So it's
Yeah.
like we're under this pillar of protection everywhere we go. We
Mhm.
can't do nothing. Nobody
Mhm.
can't talk to us. Nothing, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, but my kids are the same way. You're not sleeping at
Mhm.
anybody's house like
Uh
that.
huh.
Only a select few family members.
Mhm.
And you're like, I have to know my kids' friends. If
Mhm.
they say they want to go out with somebody, bring
Mhm.
them here. Let me sit
Mhm.
down and talk to them. And if the vibe is off, the vibe is off.
Mhm.
It's not happening.
Girl, I could tell you. I tell you. I remember being a little girl. I must have was about 11, and I went over to my friend Kim's house, and I just remember we, my dad was dropping me off over there, and that was my first time. Like I never paid her neighbor no attention,
Hmm.
but we pulled up the front of the house, and her neighbor, he was gay, he was on some other stuff. And
Hmm.
so he was gay, but he was in the meantime trying to get a sex change.
Hmm.
And this is back in the, I guess, early 80s before they became popular,
Hmm.
where people
Hmm.
was actually getting it done. So you could only imagine what the process was back then. So
Hmm.
you got this man outside with a full mustache and a full beard with breasts. And it was just like, because back in those days, back in the late 70s and early 80s, they started with the taking the pills for the breasts
The
and all that other
hormones.
stuff. They did all that first. But I just remember, my father's expression. And we pulled up. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And he's just like, "Wait a minute." He was just like, "No, no," And he like came back to my mom, and he's just like, "Yo, she can't be going up over there because I don't know what's going on with that neighbor." And then it was I mean, it was crazy. And then I just remember this individual went and got the full sex change. No lie, within 3 years, reverted back to male,
Oh wow.
and then reverted back to female. And I mean, it was just like,
Confusion.
it was a whole lot of confusion. But the idea that we are 10, 11, 12 watching this, this go,
Yeah. Yeah.
again,
So.
exposure. And it wasn't that our parents, like her mother didn't put us out there like, yeah, go check out the neighbor.
Hmm.
It was just, you just walk up on stuff. And back then, we didn't ask questions. I don't know if we just didn't care, but
Lord, all that money wasted. That's all you hear at Orca Guidance.
and back then it
Real
cost
life he
more than
she.
what it is
Oh
now.
no. Listen, not here, okay? Okay. So I love everybody. Y'all ain't gonna come for over here. Uh-uh. So yeah, though, right?
So yeah,
But
so
it happens, guys.
it does
It
happen,
does.
but you just
But TV now is that.
hmm
Like back in the
yes,
day, you were
yes,
somewhat exposed to something that may have been in the neighborhood, and not
right,
everybody was probably as bold as he was,
hmm
to be out and about at
yeah.
that time. But
Look,
now it's
nobody
everywhere.
was in those days.
Yeah, but now it's everywhere, though.
Now it's everywhere, right?
Everywhere,
hmm
cartoons, movies, video games,
Yes,
everywhere, everywhere,
yes.
everywhere. So
hmm
that conversation needs to be had too, guys.
Yes. I mean, it's a lot of conversations that parents want to avoid, and but the bottom line is you really need to have these conversations with your children to actually
Hmm.
see what they know, because
Definitely.
some kids know stuff, some kids don't, and you don't want them learning from their
I
friends
don't. I
or
don't.
from the
I know I
wrong
don't.
people out here on these streets
Hmm.
telling them. A friend of mine, I think she's still in the thread, she was just telling me a little while ago, about she's actually in Michigan, and she was saying how the sex traffickers throw eggs at people's cars to try to lure them. And I'm
Wow.
sitting up here like, are you serious? We done
Mm,
resorted to throwing eggs at people, like
that's
just to get
crazy.
their attention so that they can try to traffic you.
Diva to the max for real says, I would give my son two choices of punishment. One, go to school and tell the class what he did. or he'll have his privileges taken away for a certain period of time. That keeps him on his toes. That's good.
I mean, it's good, but the thing is, I wouldn't take them to the classroom because at the end of the day, where you think the classroom is a safe place to actually do that, they will actually call child services because we've
Well, a
seen it
lot of
happen
things.
on the news numerous times where parents have chosen alternative methods. I mean, in the past, I guess I'm gonna say 25 years, the government has been in people's households harder now than ever.
Well, Doc, let me say this.
Yes.
All of these rules and regulations have
Hmm.
stopped us from parenting our children.
You know what? They have. I mean, they have. And that's why I always tell, I try to tell all parents just be mindful of the things that we're doing. Unfortunately, it was a lot of bad people out there who did things
Mm-hmm.
to children and to their own children. And Shanito.
Johnito is true though.
See, right. But it was a
But they
lot of
won't
bad
return
people
them.
out there. No,
And
they won't. They won't.
it's okay for your
Hmm.
child to be abused under their supervision, but not yours.
But not yours. And the
Okay?
thing,
Not
right?
yours.
Because and the thing is, you see that happening a
And
lot.
it's actually abuse under their
Hmm.
supervision. It's rape,
Hmm.
it's beatings,
Beatings is everything.
it's
Verbal,
teasing,
physical,
bullying, all of
teasing.
that
Yes,
stuff
all of that
under
happens.
their
All of that
supervision, the
happens.
experts, right?
Hmm.
But in my house where it's discipline,
It's a
it's
problem,
frowned upon.
and
So
that's.
I'm willing,
Hmm.
I tell y'all all the time to go to
Yep.
jail because when I was making it, you weren't
Hmm.
there. When I was
Right.
going through pregnancy, you weren't there. When I was
Right.
pushing and delivering, you weren't there. And like I said, I'm not killing
Don't
my
you don't
child.
need to be here right now.
I'm not killing my child
Right.
because when you take them and you put them in an institution,
Hmm.
there's no structure, there's no
Hmm.
rules, there's no nothing, and my
Right.
child is left to its own devices. That doesn't make
Right.
any kind of sense to me.
No sense at all. And
Okay.
I mean, and it happens, and I've seen where kids have been put in group homes, and some of the things that came out of that, with children, and
So much mental
and
trauma
it's
and emotional.
and it's a lot of things that people don't know. Like one of the things people are unaware of is when these children go to these group homes and things like that. When they turn 18 years old, do you know on their 18th birthday? 50% of them are tossed out on the streets on
On the
their
streets.
18th birthday, on their birthday,
Mm-hmm.
because of, at this point, it's they like enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yes, for the eyes, I am using an eye filter.
y'all
Mm-hmm.
watching them twinkle dinkle,
Yeah,
but
they're
I know they
twinkling because the
bouncing and
sun,
twinkling.
the lights coming off of it.
Yep, but but that's something
Donkey
that
Kong,
parents.
Schmeech.
That's what they used to call it back in the
Listen,
day.
listen.
I love Meech old school.
You're not gonna find any of my children having any kind of behavioral problems because
Mhm.
they know what's up, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I like to talk. I like to warn. But
Mhm.
when you get it, you gonna get it. You
Right.
are going to
Oh
get it,
yeah, of course, of course.
especially when you get older and you think that I'm short. I'm like 5 foot nothing,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
My son is almost as tall as his dad. My husband's like 6 foot,
Okay.
and he's big. He's way bigger than me. So
Mhm.
if you ever think in your life that you want to talk to me a certain way, a man handle me, deal with me a certain way,
Right.
it's not
That's not
happening,
gonna
bro.
happen. Right.
Not happening.
Exactly. Mhm.
Not happening. I'm the oldest also of my siblings,
Okay.
and I'm the smallest of my siblings. It's not happening.
Right.
Whatever I
Hey,
have to do to
you
get
got
my
to do.
respect, I'm
You
getting
gonna
it.
do it. I mean, and the thing is, I agree. Is just over these years, it really saddens me to see all of the things that have happened in regards to parents losing a lot of their power
Mm.
in their household. I
The
remember when
spiritual eyes is
kids.
scaring them.
Oh, good lord. you know but at this time, this past year, with everything being pretty much shut down, this should allow people to start learning how to parent their children so that they could take their powers back.
Yeah, yeah.
Granted, I know a lot of people didn't get anything out of this last 12 months.
Mhm. Mhm.
But at the end of the day, that's what they should have been doing.
Yeah.
Getting to learn their children and learning what their likes are, what their dislikes are, and how we can move forward with doing things differently. You know, especially with everything being as it is. You know, granted, raising kids is not easy, you know, and being a parent isn't easy, you know, and then you got some kids that's out there raising their parents.
That part.
That part there ain't cool either.
That
But
part.
at the end of the day, we have to address it because it's happening.
Hmm.
It's happening.
So very early in the pandemic, when
Hmm.
they closed school,
Hmm.
and they were like, maybe next month, and they were throwing the dates
Hmm.
out there, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of people were losing their minds. It was like, oh, another month with these kids. You mean your kids?
Let me tell you, spiritual. I think the funniest thing I saw was on one of the news channels here. A parent was on the news and her child was off the wall. Okay. And they had the teacher on. And I don't know, something is telling me that teacher was that child's teacher from their school. But however the case may be, the woman was like, "What am I supposed to do with this kid all day?" And so the teacher that the news people had on was like, "That's
Mm-mm,
your kid."
mm-mm.
So when we were calling you all year, you thought we was joking.
Mm-hmm,
And this wasn't a joke,
mm-hmm.
and I think what a lot of people was failing to realize, a lot of parents failed to realize is when your child goes to school, especially if you have a child with behavior problems, your child is not alone. There is a
Absolutely,
teacher,
Levante.
is a teacher assistant, is a TSS worker, is the counselor, is the principal, is I'm gonna say the secretary at the school, because you know what, some of them kids that can't get along with nobody always get along with the secretary.
True.
And they'll sit in the principal's office next to the secretary for the entire day,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
worrying that poor person to
mm-hmm,
death.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But you got over 6, 7 individuals that's dealing with your child all day. So when this parent was on the news, the teacher laid out all of the people that's dealing with your kids. And now you're home. They was like, "Lady, it's your kid." But it brought me to when I was teaching. And I remember I was teaching, and I was telling the story to somebody the other day about how the child came to school and was acting out. And I just remember the parent said to us, "I had him all night. It's your turn."
Wow.
Bam. And he hung the phone up on us.
Wow.
So, and the principal that I was under, that I was working under, she didn't play that stuff. So, you know what she did?
False
She
child
had to,
protective.
no, she didn't call
Oh.
nobody. She had the school police take the little boy home.
Oh, I
He
was about to
dealing with
say.
him again. She was like,
Yeah.
"Well, he gonna deal with him for 14 days. He out of here."
Wow.
She ain't called protective services. She put him in the cop car and sent him on home.
Wow. Even
You
to this
know.
day, I see people leaving nasty comments under the school's Facebook. They
Mm.
get frustrated at not having school, and the
Mm.
support were canceled.
The sports were
So
canceled. Yeah.
listen,
I mean, and the thing is, the bottom line is, it's not the school at this point. With what every state is going through, it's not the school's fault that they're not open.
I think
Okay.
I think it takes a special kind of stupid to
Hmm.
be upset at the fact that the
The
schools
school's
are
not
taking
open.
your child's health
Right.
into
Hmm.
consideration. You got to
Right.
be some kind of dumbass, just plain and straight like that,
Right.
to
Right.
have a
For to be that
problem with that.
nasty. Yeah.
You
I,
should actually be thinking that
but
too.
you're looking at this as people that's not watching the news,
I don't care.
that's not educated
It's
on
their
anything that's
job
going
to
on.
do it. It's their job to watch the news. It's their job to keep up with what's going on.
Hmm.
So if they make a decision to say it's not safe for your
Right.
child, you
Right.
need to say,
They
okay,
don't
my
care. They
child's
want to.
safety comes
Spiritual. They said they
before
want them kids to
that.
get the hell up out of here. I ain't got time for that.
So you mad that the sports have been taken away? In the 12 months that they have been out, have you
You ain't
taken
worrying
them to
about
the
nothing
park?
else.
Have you taken them to the park to go run out that energy? Have you thrown a ball with them?
No. First of all, they probably don't even have a ball in the house. That's number one.
Get it together.
And
Get
it's
it
sad
together.
that that's happening.
Get
You
it together.
know, man, and it's just like the school administrators. They're doing the best that they can, because right now, a lot of them are probably in battles with teachers and getting their vaccine. Now is like a whole nother level of what's going on.
Listen, one,
Hmm.
I think school closed right at the time where my anxiety with them being at school
Hmm.
um
Was getting started.
was at an
Okay.
all-time high
Hmm.
because of these, random mass shootings and stuff that was going on.
Hmm. Hmm.
And also at the time my daughter was still going to high school,
Hmm.
and they were walkers,
Okay.
and she would get out before my son because she's older, right? So the
Okay.
older
Yeah.
kids get out a little earlier than
Hmm.
the lower ages and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And I would literally be kind of anxious about them going to school.
Right.
Are they
Right.
safe? You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
for me, I actually love having my kids home.
Hmm.
Don't Yeah, they're loud all the
Hmm.
time. They're
Yeah.
fighting. They eat
Hmm.
constantly. There's
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
But they're mine. So when I'm tired of it and I say stop, you better stop.
Hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
like that's it.
Yeah. And I mean,
Like
I know virtual school isn't easy for a lot of the parents too
it's not.
because of the time, the hours, but it was funny because I was talking to a teacher. I've been talking to a few teachers. A few of my friends are teachers. And, listening to what they're going through on their end, I'm like, oh my gosh,
It's
it's
not.
like, I'm like, they like, yo, one of my friends told me, she said, yo, they doubled my class size. I said, wait a minute, you already had too many kids in your class. And she's
It's
like,
not.
yeah, well, now I'm at 35 on a Zoom. Imagine that.
It's not. So
And I said,
imagine having multiple kids in the house on it.
on it at the same time, I know
And
that
you
is
think
difficult.
that you would just have to deal with the like elementary school kids. No,
Mm-hmm.
these high school kids are taking advantage. Like I think what they have now for them
Mm-hmm.
is they have the recorded sessions,
Yes. Oh,
and
really?
they have 72 hours in which to watch the recorded sessions.
Get out of
So
here. Wow.
they've added a lot of
Mm-hmm.
incentives for them, and
Yeah,
they're just not
yeah.
taking advantage of any of it.
Wow. They haven't did that here in Philly.
No, they're not
Up
taking
here,
advantage of any of it.
you
Um,
going on. You're going on and they're taking attendance. Hey, Dr. Candace. Hey, Trixie.
mhm.
They're taking attendance and
Nope.
they not playing these games with them.
No, not that they tried that, and then they saw that
Mm-hmm.
still these
Mm-hmm.
kids were still not. They don't like Zoom. They don't like turning on the camera if they don't have to. They don't like answering or interacting if they don't have to. So
Mm-hmm.
the teachers was like, I'm basically talking to myself all the time. So I'll just
Mm-hmm.
record the lesson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they have a Wednesday is basically the days where you check in if you need help
Yes.
and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And you can
Yeah.
always email your teachers if you need any assistance or anything like that. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
accommodating.
I
And
see. Look, I
they
see.
still don't take full
They
advantage
not taking it
of.
serious.
They still don't
Mm.
take full advantage.
Oh wow. That's not good. That is not good.
I have a newfound respect for teachers, but like Spiritual Essential said, he's mine. And it makes
So
it
it
easier.
makes it easier.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I trust me.
Yeah.
I've always respected teachers. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
First, I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh.
Then I wanted to be a lawyer, right? And
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
never wanted kids. I
and,
used to say,
and now
nah,
look. And look. And
who
now
me?
look.
Who me? I come from a big family, so I didn't
Yeah,
want that.
because you're one of how many?
I'm one of five on my mother's side, and then I have two more on my dad's.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm the oldest of all the cousins and the grandkids
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything. So I ain't want. I was like, nah, I want to
You
be a
say,
lawyer.
no, not me, not me. I want to be Lord.
And then when I got older, I was like, all right, I'll have two, a boy and a girl, four
Mm-hmm.
max, and I ended up with seven.
But look.
But listen, being a mom is
Mm-hmm.
the best.
Mm-hmm.
I have given birth to my best friends.
Oh.
So yeah, I've given birth to my best friends. Me and my daughter are like this. My oldest son,
Mm-hmm.
all my kids, we have a
And
bond.
it's you, and you have to have that good
Yeah,
relationship with your
yeah.
kids, because you want to have a relationship where they are open enough to talk to you
Mm-hmm.
about everything that's going on. You know
And
what I
that's them,
mean?
my babies.
And so, yeah. Look, I'm an only child. I always wanted to have a lot of kids. I wanted to have like 6 or 7 kids. But then I looked up, I was like, oh, good Lord. I looked up, my career was happening, and I was just like, okay. I'm like, it's all good.
Get what? Get
Why?
an even
Shanito
number.
said you got to 2022 to get the eighth one.
Mm-mm.
She's shaking her head, Sean.
I'm
She's shaking her
done.
head.
I'm done.
You done done.
Done, done,
You done done.
done, done. I'm done. Mm-mm. My husband wanted 12.
Oh my gosh.
We met when we were 16, and when we were
Oh,
16, he
okay.
told me he wanted 12 kids.
Okay, but did he keep that up later on as the years went on? Because sometimes people say that when they're young, and then when they get older, they like, I'm
No,
glad we
I'm
didn't
putting a
go for
stop
that
to it.
magic number.
I'm putting a stop to it. That's
Okay.
it. I'm done. I'm finished. Congratulations
Did he come
to.
from a big family or?
No, he has only two siblings. He's the middle child,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but his grandmother had 13, so I think he's trying
Okay.
to get to her number.
What'd you say? Get to the number.
Never say
What'd you
never,
say?
my
Not
Virgo
here.
sister. Levante, read my lips. I am never having another child. Ever. I'm done.
I mean, stranger things have happened,
No,
but
listen, I
look,
have went forth and I have multiplied. I am done. It is not fair to me.
what'd you say? Don't tell me about those stranger things.
Done.
Don't tell me about those stranger things, girl. Look.
I'm the oldest of three and I have one son. And that's the thing. I'm the oldest of all my siblings, of all my
Hmm.
cousins and everything.
Hmm.
So I've been practically raising kids my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of cousins, a whole lot of cousins, and I have a goddaughter who's amazing, but she's a hot mess. Amazing, but a hot mess,
Mm-mm.
all at the same time.
No. Whoever is looking for fruit of the womb, I bless you. I don't want it.
Would you say, go get it, go get it, go get it?
Mm-mm. Nah.
So yes,
I'm done.
but I mean, parenting isn't easy, and we see people, and everybody always say it takes a village to raise a child, and some
It does.
people, but some people, I was looking at that statement a few years ago, and I used to be like, oh my God, if I hear one more person say it take a village to raise a child, because some of the people that was talking about it takes a village to raise a child, I found them to be using people.
Mm,
They were using their village.
mm.
And bottom line is, when you have people that are willing to be there for you, be there for your children, and be supportive, don't take
Don't take
advantage.
advantage. Right.
Don't take advantage. I
Right.
mean, my thing is, people do the most. They
Yeah.
do the most. My thing is, the village is not around for you to keep having social lives.
That part.
Okay, because the thing is, you're using the village so that you can go to clubs,
Make more
go,
babies.
wait a minute, go out of town
Make more
for
babies.
days at a time. Yeah, make more babies. Look, make more babies. Go out of town. I mean,
Mm-mm.
and it was just like, and when I would see stuff like this happening, it would like infuriate me. But at the end of the day, I would be like, it ain't none of my damn business. I need to mind my business and keep it moving.
I'm
Not
sorry,
for
guys.
me to
So,
it's not for me to judge, or which I wasn't passing judgment. My thing was, I just
mm-hmm,
look at it like this: be responsible, and don't take advantage of
mm-hmm.
people. I mean,
Don't. I don't. First of all, I never let anybody take advantage of me. Though I love my nephews and stuff like that,
mhm,
and
mhm,
me personally, and my
mhm,
family members can attest to that. My
mhm.
husband and I, we don't like for our kids to go anywhere.
Okay.
Um, Once we started having children, and all our kids are like
Mhm,
2 years apart, two and a half, 2 years
mhm.
apart. Um, we don't go anywhere. They're our responsibility.
Okay.
And everybody will be like,
Right.
we'll take them so you guys can have some time, blah, 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 blah. And then if we did, the whole
Mhm.
time we're apart from them, all we think about is them all the time.
Right. Mhm.
So that's just me. I know
Yeah.
everybody's not like that,
Oh
but
yeah. Yeah.
that's just, I don't know.
Mhm.
I like to have my kids around. The
And I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, everybody is different when it comes to their children.
mm-hmm,
And some people like to have me time,
mm-hmm,
but my thing is, don't go me crazy,
right.
to the point where it's like, okay, well, where's your kid at this week? Or people are running from you. You know what I mean? Because I've seen that. Look, and I've seen that happen where people run from people when they see the people coming. Like, oh God, here they come! Run, 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 run!
That's
And I
terrible,
literally,
though.
yeah, I girl, I literally,
That's abuse, guys. If you like, why? And this is why I'm
why
pro-choice.
why push people on
And this
people?
is why I am pro-choice. I'd rather you
Mm-hmm.
make that choice before you bring a child into the world to become a burden,
Mm-hmm.
or you bring that child into the world and that child suffers because you are not ready to parent, right?
Right.
So
And we
this
see
is
that a
why
lot.
I am
And we see,
pro choice, guys.
yeah,
I
I
am.
mean, look, Sean, it was terrible. My face went, and I'm like standing there watching this occur, and I'm
Hmm.
like, yo,
I do
this
believe that
ain't
they're
good.
blessings. I do believe that every life matters. I
Yes.
do. But
Mm-hmm.
however, it matters so much that I believe that you should not bring a life in the world to make it
If you
struggle
don't
and
have,
suffer. When it
mm-hmm.
comes to children and animals, if you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to love them unconditionally, completely, and give them the
Then
best
leave
life
them
they
alone.
possibly can
Go do
have,
something
leave them
else.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
Use
Do something
protection.
else. Yes.
Give
You
that child
know,
up
I
for
mean,
adoption. Do something.
mm-hmm.
But don't keep the child for whatever
Yes.
reason and then make it
Yes.
suffer or
And
not
don't,
love it 100%.
girl, and you know what else? You know, another issue that was ticking me off too. A lot of people out here getting children for the checks. Okay. And so that, I mean, people, I mean, I'm
Take
not
it from
sure.
me, that's bullshit. All right? Take it from me. I was trying to find a word, but bullshit's the only
Yeah,
one
but
that
that's
fits
the
the
one that
bill.
fills it in. That's the one that, yeah.
So the only time you get checks for kids is when you're a
Hmm.
single parent. All right?
I'm talking
If
about the
you're
foster kids.
well, that too. If you're
Hmm.
if you're a family, you get
Hmm.
absolutely no help whatsoever.
Right.
Okay?
Hmm.
And
Once you
more.
adopt, is over. You don't get
Yep. And if
no
you're
checks for
thinking
those
about
kids.
tax time, everybody
Hmm.
thinks that because we have a bunch of kids, we get a big check. That's a false.
Hmm.
That's
Exactly, because
false.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at the what's going on as far as gross income, and it's a lot that goes into
All
that.
right.
It's not
So
what you think.
just don't do it, guys.
Yeah, and it's like what people fail to people don't know. Some people know, and some people don't know is when children get old. How can I put it? When children are on medications, for
Mm-hmm.
example, psychiatric medications,
Mm-hmm.
they depending on the level, the parents can get a check for it. Leave that child alone. Leave that child alone.
I don't know what that was.
Oh, I thought you was looking at a kid. I was like, leave that child
I
alone.
was because I heard something like somebody fell down the steps. So I'm like, oh Lord.
Mm, yeah, but yeah, people will get um a check for the medications
Mm-hmm.
that the kids is on. And I just remember one time this guy, he was a young guy, 20, like 21, 22 years old, and he took and decided he was going to open himself up a little home. And so what
Mm-hmm.
he did was, so in certain states, like in the state of New Jersey, for example, you can be 18 years old and get children and have foster kids at 18.
Your kid.
Um,
Your kid.
hello. Here I go. We sit there looking at the paperwork. We was like, oh, like no, when they came into the presentation, at the last place I was working. And I just remember this kid came in, and my supervisor at the time, he looked at me, he said, I gotta get the paperwork. And he looked at the paperwork, he said, this kid, this kid, because he's like, he's a kid himself. And he took in all teenage boys into this, and they had a little mini mansion or whatever. Each child had their own room and their own bathroom, own room. But he tallied up how much this dude was getting in a month. And everybody's face just looked like, what? And this kid was getting roughly about 18 grand,
Yeah.
from the state.
Yeah.
And that was because the children that he took in had some psychiatric issues.
Mm-hmm.
They were on medications, and like one medication alone was paying like 750.
Yeah.
Was given like and it was just
That's
like
crazy.
in addition to the food allowances and everything else. I mean, it
Bye,
was it was it
Sassy.
was crazy. See
Mm-hmm.
you, Sassy.
Um,
um
hey
it
Queen,
was
hey Nurse.
something.
So
It was
listen,
something.
I know that a lot of people are mature or whatever,
Hmm.
but
Yes.
18,
It's not mature
you
enough.
haven't started living your own life yet to be
Let
able
me
to
tell you.
want to take care of someone else's, so to speak,
Yep, exactly.
right?
I mean,
So
now if it
they should
changed,
definitely raise that age
let me tell
bar.
you, if it changed, this when I sat in that session, this was in 2019. I hope. they changed it last year. You
And
know
then
what I mean?
there would be somebody who really would do it for the right reasons that would
Right.
have a harder time
I
getting
mean,
through. That's
granted,
just
this young man was doing the darn thing. I wasn't mad at him. I mean,
hey
when I
hey.
say this kid, because folks was following up on him because
Mm-hmm.
of his age, but his mindset, he had an old soul with a good mindset,
Yeah. Hmm.
and he was doing right by all these children,
Well, then that's good.
and that was a good thing. But it was just like, but then we had the older ones come through the door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I wish you need to talk to them and
And
educate them on how to
and
do
that's what I don't like about the system, so to speak,
it.
is the people
Right.
who really want it for the right reasons and need it and
They're the
deserve
ones
it.
that get
They
they're the
can't get
ones
it,
that get nope, they can't get it.
or
They're
they have a hard time.
inspected. Yep, they're inspected every five
Yep.
minutes.
And the people
Always
who's
treated
lying,
like
scamming, and getting over,
they get everything. And those that's not get absolutely nothing. And that's what hurts. And the children are the ones that suffer in the end.
that's the worst part about it. But
And the children
listen,
end up suffering in the end. And that's a terrible thing.
so
But
childhood trauma, Dr. Tyra, is one of
mm,
the leading things that
hmm
causes problems in our adult lives,
yeah, oh my goodness, yes.
right? So,
Yeah.
what's your advice on that?
Childhood trauma, what I would say is, number one, if you can seek out for help, seek out for help, so that you can start addressing the trauma and start being able to go through to talk about what you've been going through.
Mm-hmm.
Because childhood trauma comes in so many forms that a lot of people don't realize. For example, a person being picked on as a child, and where some people might say, dust it off, brush it off, that ain't nothing, this, that, and the other. Believe it or not, it resurfaces back up as an adult.
It never goes anywhere.
It never goes anywhere.
Sometimes
It
it doesn't even resurface,
resurfaces
it's just
back
there.
up. And it's just like, and you look up and you're 30, 40 years old with the same with the
Issues.
same issues, and can't understand, why can't I thrive in my relationships? Why are am I suffering? Also, journaling helps. Writing out those feelings, writing out those emotions that you're having because of what has happened to you. Writing always hurts. Journaling is a form of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That does help.
Mm-hmm.
you know I'm not saying, don't, people meditate. Meditation is always good,
Mm-hmm.
because we definitely have to meditate. We have to change our mindset also.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start, facing these traumas, you got to be ready for the change that's going to come.
Yeah.
And granted, you will go through all the emotions. You will go through depression. You will go through anxiety. You will go through anger. You will have a piece of each and every emotion until it's all gone.
The wave.
Not saying that it's going to totally go away, but it will be a piece of your life that now you're able to gain control over.
Mm-hmm.
You will have the power to control how you handle all situations based off of that trauma, you know? And so that's definitely,
Hey, Hope.
what I recommend with that, because it's funny. I mean, when childhood trauma comes up, a lot of people like, oh, ain't nothing happened to me. But then you're like, well, why and then as people start talking, then you find out, uh-huh, that's what happened.
So, my advice for the childhood traumas,
Hmm.
stop telling kids, stop telling people, period, that words are just words.
Hey, that too.
There are power in words.
Words hurt.
Um, words can hurt, they can
Hmm.
build, and they can break.
Right.
So you have to be careful with them. Taste them before you spit
Hmm.
them out. And
Hmm.
guess what? Once they're said and the effect of the word is had, you can't do
You
nothing
can't
about it.
take it back. You
Can't do nothing about it.
cannot
Even if you
take it back.
apologize, that
It's
stain,
still there
scar is still there.
because they're gonna always remember, and it's gonna always they're gonna that the way you said it the tone you used is going to always keep playing back in their mind
Yep.
over and over and over again.
Yep.
I
So what I
mean,
do when I'm upset, I
mhm,
say nothing. I go by myself.
mhm.
That's what I do.
Okay, okay,
I
yeah. I
don't like
mean,
to. I don't like to talk out of anger or frustration.
but you know what? You shouldn't. No one should. You know, when you start feeling yourself getting angry, number one, you should remove yourself from the situation.
Yep.
Allow yourself time to process the situation that happened. Allow yourself time to think how I can develop a solution for us to move forward so that we don't keep harboring all of this negative energy.
Absolutely.
That's, don't go to bed angry.
Hey Tiana.
Hey, Tiana, a lot of people go to bed angry. Don't go to bed angry. At this point, look, the way things is going these days, hell, you look, just get it out in the open now.
Verbal abuse is the worst.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is worse than physical abuse.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
let's just put this out there. No abuse is right. No abuse
None
is
is right.
better than the other, right?
None. None.
However,
Mm-hmm.
a scar heals and you'll
Yes.
still see whatever, but those emotional traumas, it
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dr.
takes
Tachi.
you your
Mm-hmm.
whole life. And guess
Yes.
what, like Dr. Tyra said, it's not that it's ever going to go away, but it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
something that you can manage, something that
Yeah.
you understand that it wasn't your
Mm-hmm.
fault maybe, and even if it
Right.
was, then you know what not to do to make these things
Mm-hmm.
occur again, right?
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
have to reach out, you have to get help and stuff like that. It is
Yeah.
not fair to tell people that it is just words, however, though.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It
And
is it
don't
is
write it
more
down
than that.
either. Look, don't say it and don't write it.
And if it hurts, do not
Mm-hmm.
claim it over your life.
Right.
Learn to reject things that doesn't feel good or serve you. I
Exactly.
don't care how old you are.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to reject things that are
Yep.
spoken to you that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
serve you or feel right.
Right. I mean, the thing is, if it's not helping you, then you don't want it.
That's it.
9 times out of 10, if it's not helping you, it may be a chance that it's harming you. So at this point, you want to make sure you just move that right on out the way
Yep.
and focus in on the positive. And that's why I'm always telling people, positive affirmations, they do work as long as you believe it.
Yep.
You have to believe it and you have to be able to manifest it into your life.
That's it.
The positivity, and granted, I know it's easy to be negative.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be
Very easy.
negative,
So,
but we got to put ourselves in a place where we got to practice more positivity,
mm-hmm. Practice more
and
positivity.
mhm.
Practice it every day.
Mhm.
We're not saying we're humans.
Right.
Every day is not going to be lollipops and rainbows and all
Right.
that. But when you realize that you're
Mhm.
feeling a little off or down or whatever,
Yep. Mhm.
why am I feeling this way? And then
Right.
do something, because only you know what makes your soul happy.
That's right.
Regardless of whether you're doing it with a
Mhm.
group or by yourself, this
Mhm.
particular thing makes you happy. Do
Right.
that.
Right. And
Okay?
one thing I will say, it's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize too. It's okay to not be okay. We're
Mm-hmm.
not going to always have good days. We're not going to always have good days, but what we can do is do what we can to
Mm-hmm.
make the best out of the day that we're having.
Yes.
Don't let reality ruin your day. That's
Yes.
what I
And
tell
don't let
people
other
all the
people tell
time.
you, don't let other people tell you when you should
Hmm.
get over something. Okay?
Oh my gosh,
I
wait a
have a
minute.
client that is 50 and still hurts about what a coach said about her.
I
So
believe it.
Libra, the reason
Hmm.
why people will go their whole lives and remember something
Hmm.
like that is because of
Hmm.
what was said by whom
Right.
and
Right.
who else heard it.
Right. Because people bring that stuff back up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes it was just between, two people and it still
hmm
hurts for a long time. But
right.
embarrassment, oh my goodness.
That's like the worst. Especially because the thing is, everybody and their mama will remember what was said about you. I mean, and it happens. It happens.
Yep.
It happens. I remember me and my friends, we did a little class reunion just for us. It wasn't nothing that was put through the school, and it was for elementary school. And so we got to the restaurant, and people, there's always that one person, where's
Mm-hmm.
so and so at?
Hmm.
Where this person at? Where that person at? And one of my friends was like, number one, that person ain't here because they wasn't invited.
That's the worst part, Tiana.
And it was just like they wasn't invited. But why wasn't they invited? And it was like, well, they wasn't invited because, and this person reached back, reached back to 40 years ago
Hmm.
and named every negative thing these people did to her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl is 40 years old. Like, do you need to come talk? And she's like, yeah, I do. Because I'm tired of, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. But it happens.
Yep.
And we have to stop harboring all of the negative energy and
Yep.
all of the things that people said to us. Granted, some people as kids, they know what they're doing.
They
Granted,
know.
especially when they know what they're doing and
They
they know
know.
what they said.
They know.
They know what they said,
They know.
and they don't think it'll come back and bite them until things happen later on. But things will come back.
Thank God I was never bullied. I did one girl though. She was really annoying though. I tried not to, but my god sister said I was. I
Uh-huh.
didn't think I was at the time. I was a kid myself, right?
Right, right.
But the girl was gross
Mm-hmm.
all the time. She ate
Okay.
glue. She stuck crayons up her nose,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and obviously she might have had a problem. But they had her in the
Mm-hmm.
class with everybody, and for
Okay.
some reason, this girl
Mm-hmm.
took a real liking to me, and I
Okay.
just wanted not to be bothered.
Don't tell me you tortured that poor girl.
Didn't torture her, but I might have not been nice.
Okay, well let me ask you, where's she at these days?
I don't know. I don't know. But my god sister, she always reminds me about that little girl because she's just like you or me. Like you see,
remember when you
spiritual
used to.
essentials has Lavenda has evolved, guys.
And now Lavinda, and now every time she think about how you evolved, she like, remember when you,
Yeah, but
and you like, man,
I've
can you
I've
stop it?
apologized. And what I do,
Mm-hmm.
guys, is mirror
Mm-hmm.
work. Mirror
Mm-hmm.
work. I speak positive affirmations into myself, over myself, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I teach my
Exactly.
daughters to do that too. I
Mm-hmm.
have two daughters. One is my complexion, the other is the daddy's complexion, and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And
Uh-huh.
they start to notice things when they grow up,
Okay, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you still have to, teach them. You gotta love your the skin that you're in. You have to love
Exactly.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're beautiful anyway, and stuff
Right.
like that. So
Mm-hmm.
we do mirror exercises.
Okay.
That's a tool, maybe.
And that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good thing. Wanda says, wow, I was bullied in elementary
I'm
school.
sorry,
I'm
Wanda.
sorry that happened to you,
I am so
Wanda.
sorry that happened. Like, I didn't think it was bullying. I just thought it was. I was annoyed, and I just went
Mm-hmm.
off. And it wasn't on a regular basis. It's just she
Mm-hmm.
just always like. Sometimes I'd really try to ignore her,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you're sticking a crayon in your nose, like right in my face. Like, she just hit me on a wrong day one day, and that
Yeah.
was it.
But the thing is, she wanted the attention and she wanted to be your
Yeah,
friend.
right.
And when you think about back then, social skills,
I
I
was
mean,
in
we could
fifth
go on for
grade.
days about social skills
I was in
because
fifth grade. Don't hold it against me, guys.
mhm.
I've evolved. I've been.
Look, fifth grade was the year of all kinds of shenanigans. But when you think about social skills, the social skills that we acquired back when we were children versus the social skills now,
Mm-hmm.
and now here we are, 2021, with a lot of things. I had a discussion with Libra last night. And one of the things we were talking about was how now people are going to have to relearn social skills all over again. And it was just like, and I said, yeah, great, making my work harder. Because now it's like trying to
You
get
built
in
for it, Doc.
social
I believe in
skills,
you.
going social skills for adults because
Mm-hmm.
they have been so, since they've been so,
Oracle guidance says yes, she does mirror work with her
hmm
14 and 3-year-old.
and
Absolutely.
that's good. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's good. It's never too early to start doing mirror work.
Yep.
Never too early to start
So
doing mirror
my
work.
daughter has a handheld, and this is the 8-year-old's mirror.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So it was $1, guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easy.
Yeah.
She takes it out
Mm-hmm.
and she tells herself, "I am
I look
beautiful."
good. I know that's right.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
always tell my kids, like, I
Mm-hmm.
believe in God, so I believe we're all made in the image of God. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
made in the image of God, God only creates the most
Beautiful
beautiful
people.
things.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's what I tell my children.
Exactly. Libra, that's what I was talking about. How we was talking last night about how we have to, like now people going to have to relearn social skills because of everything that's happened this past year. They've got on social media, and granted, this year, last year was the year of vision, and 2021 is the year of intent.
I
And
hate bullies, Libra.
and yeah, we all hate bullies.
I do.
We
Sometimes some
all hate
people are
bullies,
bullies, so but
and some
I don't
people
like
be
it.
bullying.
When I
But you
was
know what?
in
And
middle
this,
school,
hmm
I was some girl that had behavioral problems. She was one of those at risk
they
teens
always the ones.
and stuff.
Hmm
And I guess she was in a gang in the school she got kicked out of and got put into
hmm
our school. And she
hmm
wanted everybody to join a gang or she was gonna beat you up. I was like, well, you gonna have to beat me up then, because I am not joining no gang with you.
hmm
And she left me alone. When I stood up to her, she left me alone. But
Uh-huh.
then she started messing with this girl that I became friends with, and I was like, why don't you pick on somebody else you like your own size? And I stood up for the
hmm
girl, and me and
hmm
the girl became friends. I despise bullies, and I tell my kids all the time,
Yeah.
the only way to deal with a bully is to stand up to a bully.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Once a bully knows that you're afraid of them, the bullying
hmm
never stops.
girl, it's so funny because I'm just like, it was certain situations. People used to like name call and stuff like that at me or whatever, but I always had a weapon. I don't know why.
You short, Doc?
But yeah, I'm 5'2",
Oh yeah, that's
but
why you
I'm
always
like
had.
5'2", 5'3". But you know what? That wasn't even a reason. That was
But
just me,
that's
and it
me,
was just
Doc.
like, and it was like and it was like so funny because I had all male cousins. I had girl cousins. It was only two girl cousins, me and my cousin Kia, and it was everybody else was all male, and so we had no choice, but we had to learn how to fight because we was with the boys all the time. So with them, they made sure that we knew how to fight. And then my aunt that kept that, that used to be my babysitter, she was like, and if you can't throw your hands,
You better.
she'd be like, you better throw something.
It's a
Okay.
short
And
people. It's a short
and
person thing.
and
Yup,
so yes, the short aunt,
shorties
yep,
unite.
the shorties unite. Let me tell
I'm
you, let
telling.
me
It's a short
tell
person thing.
you,
As soon as you
let me
said it, I
yep.
said Doc is
And
short too,
and I
because
will always keep something in my bag, And then that book came out. I think the book of danger came out. What year was that? I think it was 1984. 10,000 Ways to Kill Somebody. And at the end of the day, when that book was released, that was over. Because I remember watching the author on 2020 as a little girl. No,
uh-huh.
60 minutes on a Sunday. And they was like, this book shouldn't be allowed. And everybody was like, damn, like all the older people. I didn't know.
Mm.
And it was just like, and at that point, it was like it educated me on, okay, everything we have is a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything can be used as a weapon. And at that point, it was just like, all right, so cool.
As
You
soon as you
good
said it,
when you go out in these streets.
soon as you said it, I'm like,
You
Doc is
good.
short. That is a
Oh,
short
yeah.
person trait. If I don't have a weapon on me,
hmm
I'm planning on hitting you, you finna
Uh-huh.
start looking for what can I use.
Look, I don't look that far because look, you already got it on that shoe. You take that shoe off and you just don't know, And God forbid, and it was
Mm-mm.
like so funny because I always carried like, well, I used to play softball. I am a very good thrower, softball and badminton. I'm a very good thrower,
Ooh.
and as long as I got a ball, you better watch your head because if I got my thing is, I'm like, I might have these glasses on, but my precision is good. I'm like, I will take your
That's
whole head off.
crazy. No. Everyone knew I would
Oh,
fight. Oh, we know
we know
Libra.
that.
We
That's not
know
a
that
secret.
Libra.
That's not a secret. She told us a would-be secret.
Right? Duh.
Duh.
all, all I could see is Libra doing this as a child. You better get ready for
Okay. Okay, wait a minute.
because she does that now on the line. She's like,
And you look, and you can see it coming. You see it coming. And look, at the end of the day, we all know at some point we gotta
thank
fix
you,
we gotta fix
Emerald
our
Eyes.
face. Thank you, Emerald Eyes. Sometimes we gotta fix our face because our face tells what we about to do.
We know that. It's official. Right, Jermaine?
I know,
She's
right,
like giving us,
Jermaine?
like, we know.
She
We
Jermaine, she
know.
told us all a big secret.
Look at Michelle laughing.
The biggest
Yeah,
secret
tell us
ever.
Michelle fights. Now that's something we'll be like, really?
Yeah, like that would be like, get out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
Like, get out of here. No, we already do that, Libra. We do. Look, and the thing is, it's so funny because I'm quick to tell people, fix your face. And it was like I was doing a virtual conference. This was about 3 months ago, back in October, and I was on this live. I was watching the conference from behind, and because I wasn't speaking at the time, and I text somebody that was inside of the thing, and I told them, I said, "Yo, tell them to fix their face because their face is showing their emotion." And
How
they
old
said,
is the
"What?"
son? How
My
old is
lady
the
friend
son?
kicked her son out the house. He was acting bad and steal TV and selling it. Now he want to come back to the crib. I'm. Oh well. At the
So,
bottom line is, she gonna have to assess that situation. If he stole her television, she need to figure out what was the reason why he stole her TV. I mean, if he's
well, I
on
don't care what
drugs
reason you have.
or,
Stealing is not. Mm-mm.
right. But the reason I was saying what the reason was behind him stealing the TV because some kids do things out of malice.
Yeah,
They want to just
yeah.
just to get attention,
Whatever
because
the
they
reason
feel
is, he
like,
getting a
and
punishment.
right. And the thing is like that kid could have been like, you know what? Since all you do is watch TV, I'll fix your ass. Cause see, that's how kids be thinking. I'll fix your ass. I'll take the
That's
very
true
thing that
too.
you do,
That's
and I'm
true
gonna
too.
take it out the house because you work my
He didn't
nerves.
have no money. Okay, so that
Okay,
doesn't warrant stealing, though.
right,
It
and
doesn't warrant
that
stealing.
doesn't worry. That does
One,
definitely doesn't worry. You don't have no money. That's on you. And how
both of
old was
them,
this
in my
kid?
opinion, are wrong because if he's underage, you can't put out your children. I hate to hear that. You put your child out for
Mm-hmm.
something, and then God forbid they get hurt in the streets. You can't take that
The
back.
right.
I'd rather you punish that
Mm-hmm.
child to their room or something other
Mm-hmm.
than to throw your child out.
Right.
That doesn't make sense
But
to me.
I guess if that was the rules of her house,
Yeah, it
because see,
still
but
doesn't make sense to me.
it doesn't make sense. But if that's the rules of her house, because some people do set them rules. Like if the one thing you will not do, you will not steal from
Right,
me, and you won't try to kill me.
right.
If one of those two things happen, you out of here
You out of here. I
with no explanation. With no
that's true.
explanation,
That's
because
true.
at the end of the day, if you steal, what they say, if you steal, you kill. If you kill, it's like a whole sequence of things that they
How
say
old
you
is the
can do.
boy? How
But
old
we
is
need
the
to know how
son?
old this kid is,
Yeah, how old is he?
Niles. How old is this person? If this person is like 12, then she should be able to handle that.
Yeah,
You know, um,
he's begging to come back. I bet.
but I bet he is begging. It's cold outside, especially if he in the north. If he out in LA somewhere, then he might as well go on and get a tent.
A lot of kids think that the grass is greener somewhere else, but
Oh,
there's no
they do.
place
They
like
do
home.
until they get outside,
There's no
and then
place
they
like home.
realize.
There's nobody that's
Mhm.
gonna love you like your parent, even if your parent are
Mhm.
um what's the word I'm looking for?
27.
Oh, he gotta
He could
go.
go find his own place.
Yeah, he gotta go.
He better go find himself a boo.
Um, actually,
Mhm.
27.
Mhm.
I'm
I mean, 27 we know is questionable because some 27-year-olds are not mature enough to do
mature or
any.
not. You
The
not
maturity
stealing
level is
from
not the
me
same. But you're
and
not
staying
stealing
in my
from me at
house.
27.
No,
27, he grown.
no,
That's number one.
that's a
And
man, and he
number
can't come
two,
back.
I mean, he better be glad that she ain't called the cops.
Exact. That's what
Okay, because
that's where my mind went.
he could get himself, what's his name? Look, I know people that have called the police on their kids for lesser things than a
Listen,
TV just to make a point
no, he
you
can't
know,
come back, and if he ever
no, he
does, it's
27.
going to be
I'm thinking
supervised.
this
You
is
gotta
a
sit on your hands.
I'm thinking this is a 14 or 15-year-old. If he's 27, then he need to keep going. He can go to the homeless shelter and he try to rob them. That's a whole different stick.
No,
Because those folks don't play with you at no homeless shelter. That's for sure. They will get you.
no.
Yup. Dr. Tachi, you are 100% right. She says
Something
something tells
tells
me
me
that she has
she's
been
been,
enabling him.
yes,
Yeah, she's been
obviously.
enabling him. She had to
Obviously,
be.
27
But
and
the
he didn't have
idea,
any money, so he just took the TV. Really?
right.
Okay, well, no, you ain't coming back. And when you do come back in my house, you got
Mm-mm.
to sit on your hands.
At 27, sitting on his hands.
Yup. Keep them where I can see them.
That's the move we take with the little children, not with the big, not with no not with no grown man.
You know why? I don't like to hide things in my house. It's my house.
He better.
I'm putting things where I want them for a reason.
D
When
said her grandson said he don't never want to leave. He don't want to leave because he's comfortable. D.
I mean,
The
I don't
thing is,
mind.
but a lot of kids is afraid of outside, and I'm talking about not because of COVID. This happened before COVID, where people were afraid to go outside. In
I
regards to when I'm saying outside, I mean going outside to live.
Yeah, I know. I
You
know.
know what I mean? Because people, it's like, oh my gosh, living on my own. This dude
He
got a
got a
job with
job
the
with the
city. If
city.
he don't, Miles, bye. Look, this dude can go
It
if
just,
he.
the story just keeps getting worse.
It does keep getting worse because at the end of the day, I probably would have called the cops
So
on him. He would have
why
lost
did
that
you
city
take the
job and everything
TV?
else. Because he had no reason to take that woman television. But that's okay. If it was somebody I knew, they'd be like, yeah, he can come home all right. And they would fix him in ways he would never know
Mm-mm.
would hit him.
No. I don't like to hide things in my house. I like to put
Mm-hmm.
what's my things there. When we grew
Right.
up, if you
Mm-hmm.
saw something wherever you saw it, if it wasn't given to
Mm-hmm.
you, you didn't take it.
Right.
You
And
didn't
if it's
take it.
not there when I come back, it's a problem. No, that
Exactly.
woman's
You
son,
ask for
no,
what
he
you
needs to
want.
go. Yeah, he got a job with the city. He needs to go find himself an apartment. He don't even need to live in a homeless shelter because he's making enough money in
Yeah.
whatever city he's in that he can pretty much support himself. That's ridiculous.
Tell
But a
his
lot of
mother
these,
it might have
hmm
been late, but she did the
hmm
best thing she could for him.
that's right.
Now he has to learn to be an adult.
hmm
So
But the thing is, a lot of people a lot of young adults in their 20s are afraid to grow up because they have been so used to the finer things at home, and they just they get scared.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not because of enabling, because sometimes the parents don't enable. It's just that at some point they start thinking and realizing like, oh my gosh, when like I remember, a lot of kids that I worked with, they would tell me, I can't wait till I turn 18 and I move out the house, da, 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 da. And they would come back to the hospital at 18, and I would be like, what you doing back here? I thought you was moving out your mama's house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go out there, Miss Tyra. It's scary. I'm like, what's scary outside the house? How am I going to pay bills? And how am I going? And it's just like, no, no, no. Calm down. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Miles, are
And
you
it's
talking
just,
about yourself?
he's fine to be hired on. Finna be hired on.
Are you
But,
talking about yourself? Because you keep
mm,
talking a lot about this
yeah,
situation.
right.
So,
But yeah, but the thing is, people, the parents, you do as much as you can to educate them about being on their own, but when that fear starts kicking in, and the reality sets in that, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to pay bills, I'm going to have to
mm-hmm,
do this, I'm going to have to do that, they become a little apprehensive with going out there on their own. It's not like, the generation from the
mm-hmm.
generations that was born in the 70s and 80s where we was all, you know, when 18 came, we was like, oh, go away to college or go to trade school or get a job or something like that, where we was comfortable with moving forward. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't that comfortable. They feel, they feel afraid, and it's okay to feel afraid.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, Doc. I don't want my
What's
kids
up?
to ever leave home,
You don't.
but I'm not
Mhm.
gonna keep them in a way where they don't have responsibilities. Where if they ever did leave, they didn't know how
Mhm.
to survive out in the real world. So
Right, and
my
they need to
son,
know that.
yeah, so my
Mhm.
son is 17, my daughter's 20. They both have
Mhm.
jobs, and I make
Mhm.
them pay for things. They pay their
Okay.
own cell phone, and they
Mhm.
help out with bills. So me and
Okay.
their father pay the majority of the bills, and they'll probably
Mhm.
have to pay like $50, $60 on them
Oh,
or
that's not
whatever.
bad. Yeah,
So
that's not
I
bad.
do hold them responsible. I think
Okay.
if my daughter had her own bathroom, she'd have to pay rent because that's an apartment.
Gosh.
No,
Miracle.
seriously. I believe that. I believe if you live somewhere and you're
Hmm.
working, you should be
Hmm. And
contributing
how
to
old
the
is she?
place. She's 20.
20. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I can see that. I can see
So,
that.
so I believe
Hmm.
that if you're working and if you
Hmm.
live somewhere, you should be contributing to where you live.
Right, right.
That means helping out with groceries. That means
Hmm.
helping out with bills. You know, that light when you flip it, it doesn't
Hmm.
come on off of hopes and dreams,
Right.
right?
No, not
So,
all hopes and dreams.
right. So you should be helping out. I don't care about your wants and needs
Hmm.
because that's not my business. Because if
Right.
you don't live here, the landlord isn't going to care about them either,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So, but
Right.
to be honest with you, if my kids stayed home forever, I really wouldn't mind, as long as I was
Okay.
respected
Right.
and they helped out.
Right.
I wouldn't mind.
Dr. Tachi said we were a hardy bunch. We knew how to do things. You got
Yeah.
that right. We knew how to do things. And Dee said, Dee's free house to live. Come on down. I have 9 here. Oh, Dee,
No, ma'am.
we want you to be able to have your self care and your time too.
Mm-hmm.
And Libra said it goes back to what you guys was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Mm-mm.
does. I mean, everything goes back full circle.
Yeah.
Miles said, what if they cuss at you?
What if who cusses at you? The
I guess
kids?
the parents. They ain't no kids cussing at none of
I
us.
was about to
But
say that's why I clarified, asked for
if the kids
clarification.
cuss, if the kids is cussing at us, they getting the hell up
You
out of
gotta
here.
go. I mean, obviously you have no more respect.
Mm-mm,
So why are you here? Because you can't cuss me in my house. You can cuss me outside.
mm-mm.
On
Yeah,
John Public, you could do it out there.
but if you say it out there, you know I better not hear it or I better not find
Yeah,
out.
yeah. But you're not cussing me in my house. No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Keep it moving, because that causes situations.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell the mortgage company, can I pay you in hopes and dreams?
Facts. Facts, Dr. Tachi.
The mortgage company, Dr. Tachi, the electric, the gas, every send them an IOU letter that says, can
Yep.
I pay you in hopes and
Yep. Facts.
dreams? They
That
look
is
at us
a
and laugh
fact.
their behind off. They be like, lady, get off my phone. Because
Yep.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people sent them letters that said, can I pay you in hopes and dreams?
Nope.
Last March and April,
Nope. You
when
didn't
everything
fry
was looking
those,
grim.
right? You didn't fry those eggs and make that cup of soup on,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
you got to help out. You have to help
Yeah,
out. You
you.
have when as soon as you become,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, teach them about finances, teach them about money,
Mm-hmm.
teach them about the reason and why. Like, yeah, we
Yeah.
all want to go on vacation, we all want
But
nice things, but
but
you
they need to
also have
see it.
responsibility,
Right.
right?
And the thing is, seeing it in black and white, it helps people to comprehend it a little bit better. Because when they don't see it in black and white, they think that kids will say, you're lying, you're lying. They're quick to tell somebody that they're lying about something. And y'all need to watch that too, with letting kids tell you you're a lot, call you a liar. That
Miles,
ain't cool
I
too.
don't think kids are acting. I think they're having like legitimate, they think their
Hmm.
rationalization of things makes
Hmm.
sense, which is
Oh
why
yeah.
they hold their convictions so strongly. And
Right.
then when they find out that there is something called reality out there, that's when they
Hmm.
want to come back. Because
Right.
mommy and daddy's house is the only place a lot of us can get away with a lot of crap,
Right.
right?
And right. And why wouldn't I want to come back to someplace that's safe? I'm gonna come back to my safe haven. I'm gonna come back to
Exactly.
the place where I know people there want me, whether they don't want me, whether nobody else wants me. I know they want me there, and even if they don't want me there, they'll let me come back just
Exactly.
because. I
Exactly.
remember this kid one time. He was the worst, and I remember on he was a twin too, and I just remember on his birthday, on him and his twin's birthday, his mother always said that when he got home from school, the locks would be changed on his birthday. When I tell you, when that kid got home from school, the locks were changed.
Mm-hmm.
She told that kid's twin, because it was a boy girl twin. She told the girl, "You do not let your brother in this house," and I mean it.
Wow.
And she said, "Because I didn't had enough of him."
Mm.
And when I tell you that woman meant business,
That's
and that
that's
little
that's
boy
wild.
that little boy came, he was just like, she changed the locks. I said, so how you gonna get in? He said, I don't know.
Mm-mm.
He
Listen,
said,
Doc, I don't like that.
I you know what? One thing I would always tell kids is never let your parents wash their hands of you.
Facts.
Once they wash their hands of you, it's a wrap.
Damn.
Okay?
True.
And, you know, we don't like that, but at some point, you're human and you can only take but so much.
Yeah,
When
parents need love and
their
respect too.
hands is washed, it's like enough is enough. I mean, I remember the first time that I seen a child where their parents' hands was washed of them. This kid, he just kept doing things and doing things and doing things. And I just remember they had to hospitalize this child. And they hospitalized him. His parents told him if he did one more damn thing to get hospitalized, don't think you're coming back home.
Wow.
Because we don't care where you're going.
Wow.
You want to hear where they went?
Where did they go?
They moved to Turkey.
They left him?
Yes, they did. So when they called the parents after he dropped them off they dropped them off. Well, the ambulance brought them in and everything. They came because they told them they had had enough because he was always doing stuff. And I just never remember they called and they was like, wrong number. And they was like, this is the right number. You know, and this is the nurses staff and everybody calling. They called back and they was just like, look, we told you we're done. What part of done don't y'all understand? The D or the E? We have moved. We no longer live in this country anymore. So, and we're not
Empty my
coming back.
house.
So you can call here to go. We're not coming back. So,
Wow.
what do you do with that? And the parents actually, what happened was the father, the job had transferred him to a division over in Turkey.
So that's
So
it.
they literally was not coming back.
That yeah. Everybody likes these eyes. So the only time you see the filter is when it starts twinkling, which blows me. Right? It's, I like the filter, but it's
I
not
love
serving
the
no purpose.
filter.
It's glitching.
Look, I love the filter. It looks awesome. I'll be like, I want my eyes
So
to do that. And I said, oh.
I don't
But yeah, I
know.
mean, yeah, a whole nother country, Oracle. You know, so it's like the thing is like, you know, you don't want as teenagers, you talk to them about, they know their expectations, the expectations that you have for them as parents. Don't let your parents wash your hands of you. I remember this one young lady, this girl, I could have beat the hell out of her. I really could have. And the reason was because she wouldn't go to school. And I remember the truant officers kept coming to the house. This kid, the fine that they had to pay for this kid, this woman had a $15,000 fine
Wow.
for her child not coming to school. And I just remember the mom having to pay this fine. Do you know that little wench was like, I don't give a damn about her paying 15,000. I ain't going back to school.
Wow.
And I'm just sitting there like, are you serious right now? And it was just like, it was no reasoning with this little girl.
Yeah. Parents have to pay the
Honey,
fine or go to jail.
look, you know,
And I think
about a
that's
year,
so unfair.
it was so unfair. But you know what? You know where we seen her a year later? Seeing her prostituting down in
Oh
Camden.
gosh.
And I said, you know what? And it was just like me and one of my friends at the time, me and one of my friends was out, you know, for the job or whatever, and we saw her, and she was
See?
out prostituting,
See?
and
And
it
it's
was just
not a
like,
lack of love and it wasn't a lack
it
of
wasn't.
parenting.
Mm-mm.
See?
Her, when I say her mother did virtually everything possible
That's messed up.
to keep this kid in school. She did everything, and she's just like, all my work. She was working overtime to pay the fines.
Mm-hmm. Damn. That's messed
Now,
up.
could you imagine? And I'm saying, like, the fines kept piling up and piling up and piling up. In one year, this woman had over 50 G's in
Oh
fines,
man. Wow.
and all that money went to that particular school district and that particular state.
Oh
You
man.
see what I'm saying? And it was just like, and this girl had no remorse. Could you imagine that? And this is like, and I know that woman right now today is probably thinking back on that and probably she probably keeps saying to herself over and over again, I could have bought a whole new house. I could have went
Wow.
on numerous vacations. I could have, you think of all the things you could have did with that money that's wasted.
That's rough right there.
You
I
know
don't know.
what? So was
My
she
my
supposed to
kid, it
keep
would have
that
to be
kid in the
something
house?
drastic, doc, for
You
me
know,
to
but was she
wash my
supposed to keep?
hands.
Right, but was she supposed to keep her in the house with all of this?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Or
It would
was
have
she?
to
You
be
know what I mean?
something drastic.
It's yeah. Normally, when you see parents washing their hands of their children, it's always something to the 95th power, and it's just like, okay, well, what did you expect them to do?
Yeah.
You
Most
know,
like
and
in West Indian culture, they don't wash their
hmm
hands of their kids. They don't never let them. They don't tell them to leave home. It's
okay,
usually my African American friends with their parents are putting them out at 18. Like it's time to
ain't
go.
that something?
Time
Ain't
to
that
go.
something?
But in the West Indian
Isn't that
culture, nah,
something though?
they just start
Is it?
handing out bills.
Isn't that something though? I mean, it's something like I look at the way my parents, raised me because I'm an only child, and it's just like I don't think they did a bad job. I said I think I turned out halfway decent, and it was just like I was paying rent.
Hmm.
I started working at the age of 14.
Me too.
And so, yeah, and my parents, they charged me rent. My dad didn't know what was going on. My mother was the one. She was the rent charger.
That's me.
And so she charged the rent and she collected all the money
Hmm.
for the rent and everything. And it was so funny because when it was time for me to go away to college, my mom presented me with an envelope.
Hmm.
And I was like, what the hell is this? I'm looking in the envelope saying to myself, what the hell is all these fives and tens and ones? And, I guess however I paid her was how she put it in the envelope.
Okay.
And when it was time for me to leave for college, it was money in this envelope from the time I was age
That's what's up.
14 all the way till I was 17. Because see,
That's
I
what's
left to go
up.
I left to go away to college at 17. And so he should go, here your rent back. And I was like, what? And she's just like, this is the money that I asked you for rent. This is your rent money. Take
That's
this and
what's up.
go. This is for you to go to
Hey
for your
Alex,
for your
that's
books.
what's
Hey
up.
Alex, hey Marley. And she used it for that. And she was like, no, because I knew you wouldn't save it if I
Wow.
told you to.
Wow. Hi Marley.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's crazy. That's
you
that's
know.
that's what's up. That's dope.
But
But yeah,
yeah.
yes, Oracle guidance. Go to school or go to work,
hmm
but you got to do something. Got
You
to
gotta
do
do
something
something.
around
That
here.
yeah, it's one or two choices. And the thing is, when you think about it, they're not bad choices.
Yeah,
They're not bad
at
choices
all, at
at
all.
all. It's not bad choices at all.
Some people,
You know.
like I said, it would have to be something drastic for me to actually wash my hands or put a child out of my house.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. It's just like I know every child is different, and the relationship that
Mhm.
they'll have with their parents is
Mhm.
different for us to sit here and kind of judge.
Yeah.
But I just thank God for the seven that I was blessed with and the
Yes.
relationships that I have with
Mhm.
them.
Hey,
And
Larry.
that's
Mhm.
all I could say. And I pray for everybody and their children for their relationships
Yeah.
because I think that's one of the greatest bonds that anybody can have is
Mhm.
with their child, father and
Yeah.
child, mother and child.
Mhm.
It's one of the
Yeah.
greatest bonds. It's
Oh yeah. Oh
truly
yeah.
the where love really begins. You don't know love,
Yes.
I think, until you have a kid.
Yeah.
Truly,
Yeah. And I mean
completely.
that's fact. That's facts. That's
Yeah.
facts. I mean, because the thing is, when you think about the bond, between parent and child, first of all, the bond starts in the womb. This human grew inside of you
Yep.
for over 10 months.
Yep.
You have this
I
other
go eight.
human
I go
inside
eight,
of
eight
you.
and a half.
She said,
I've
I go
never.
8, 8.
No, it's true.
You never get the full.
I've never gone 30 something, 40 something weeks. I've always gone
Okay.
8.5.
But when you think about that bond,
Mm-hmm.
and that baby inside of you just growing and all of the, things that's going, it's just, how can you not? I mean, I could say, how can you not? But we know some people out there don't,
I know some people out there don't
unfortunately.
have children and never had and stuff like that, but that is
Mm-hmm.
truly one of the most unbreakable bonds.
Bonds. Right.
Um, and
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have children, you know that relationship between you and your parents, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Some parents, unfortunately, are not good parents,
Right.
and
Right. And
that
some,
is
yeah.
sad. That is
Yeah.
very sad.
And
My
yeah.
heart breaks for those people because I have a
Yeah.
mother who she's awesome. She's taught me everything, and we have a
Mm-hmm.
great relationship and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So when I see people that don't have that kind of relationship, my heart breaks for them truly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Because the thing is like you know, I've seen where some people have toxic parents,
Yeah. Yep.
and
True.
toxic parents are are the worst.
Yep.
And it's like I have a number of friends that I was like, when I first got into therapy and I was meeting other therapists, and they would be like, I had to wash my hands of my parents, and I'm like, wash your hands of your parents? What the hell are you talking about? They're your parents. How you wash your? And it was just like when I first got started, I'm just like, that to me makes no sense. I'm like, you're supposed to love your parents. You're supposed to be. And then as I started getting into my profession a little bit more and started meeting more people, I started hearing of, learning more about the parent-child relationship, learning a little bit more. Because my thing is, the only parent-child relationship I had to go off of was my own.
Your own. Yeah.
And
True.
but as I went out there, I was educating myself, and then I started paying attention to who my friends,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and paying attention to the relationships they had with
Their
their
parents.
parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, one of my friends, I just remember her, and she felt like she was in a tug of war with herself.
Mm-hmm.
Do I remove myself from my mom, or do I find a way to tolerate her?
No, you gotta get rid of anything,
You
number
know,
one,
and
that's
but you know
making you
what?
feel bad.
She ended up. You know what? The end result was therapy.
Yeah.
I said go find a therapist. Call the insurance company if you have insurance. Find a therapist and do it. Go that route, because this way, you need somebody on the outside to help
Yeah.
you navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, what it is. You know where your heart's at. And bottom line is, granted, some parents can be toxic.
Very.
Some kids can be toxic.
Hey, Dr.
You
Williams.
know,
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Dr. Williams.
Yeah.
Some parents can be toxic.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Definitely.
let me look, because some of
Definitely.
them kids, some kids, and it's like, it is so funny because I could pretty much tell how your child's going to be just from looking at them from the age of 4. I can look and I could tell if your child's going to be attention seeking.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell if your child's going to be narcissistic. I could tell just from their behaviors at the age of 4. I was like, when I started, with working with kids for the number of years I worked with them, I worked with kids for over, I guess, with adding my teaching years in, I worked with kids for over 20 years. And so it's like when I think about that, it was just like, ooh, and your heart goes out to some of the parents when it comes to stuff like that, because you know what the end result's going to be
Yeah.
if they don't get a hold of it. But at the end of the day, they do their best to get a hold. But it's like, how can I get a hold of something when I'm not doing nothing wrong?
Mm.
And it's just like you look up and people. I'm gonna take a parenting class, and you want to say so bad. As a professional, sometimes I want to say so bad. You don't need the class. A damn kid need the class
This
on
is
how to be
where
a
this
kid.
is why it's so important to have these discussions and to
Hmm.
encourage mental health and spiritual practices
Yes,
and
exactly.
all of these things, because
Hmm.
it's needed at
It
every
definitely
age and
is.
stage of life. Right,
Yep.
it is definitely needed.
Yep.
And I thank you, Doc, for joining me and talking and educating us
Oh,
about the kids.
yes. And I'm glad you had me on today. I was so happy we was able to talk.
So can you tell us about your boxes, how to get them and what they are?
Oh, my com kits.
Yes.
Let me see. I got one sitting right here. Actually, I got the one I was putting together for you right
See,
here.
please remove yourself, my son.
Uh-oh.
He's knocking down
So,
things.
oh boy. Oh, poor baby. So this
Mhm.
is my com kit. And so inside the com kit, we have a coloring book, because
I like to
coloring is,
color.
yeah, coloring is therapy.
Yes,
Actually,
it
this was
is.
yours. I had already started putting yours together. It's right here. A coloring book. I also put in it a bath bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, my com kit is pretty
Thank you,
much, my com
Daddy.
box is a self-care box. And so pretty much I use it for promoting self-care, because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, we become so engrossed with so many things throughout the day. We definitely have to be stress free.
Oracle
So
guidance
we
sold
have
already. She because of the coloring book.
We have a stress ball. I
Mm-hmm.
try to use the Isoflex balls because I feel as though with Isoflex, they are one of the nation's leaders for a lot of reflexology when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to this. And there's a lot of stuff that, with this said, put yourself in a positive mindset, squeeze the ball, especially when you becoming angry or anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, I used to have a fear of crossing bridges and had to cross the bridge every day to go to work. So I would drive across the bridge with my stress ball in my hand,
My uncle used
squeezing
to blow
away.
into the bag.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't like tunnels. And if he had to drive through the tunnel, he'll be driving and blowing through the bag.
Wow. You know what? I used to, and the funny part about it is it didn't happen on me till I got older.
Mm-hmm.
I have my Calm oil, and Calm is part of the box. Lavender. Some kits come with oil. Some kits come with candles. We have peppermint candle.
Ooh.
We have a journal and an eye mask. And we also have tea. I have the tea in a container. But we
Okay.
also have tea, and the tea I usually send is either peppermint or ginger peach.
Ooh.
And then I have my no, 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 no. I don't know what's going on with my watch calling a restaurant. I didn't answer that. Then we have one of my t-shirts that go with it. And it says me before we.
Ooh. I
And
like
the
the
reason
box.
yes, and the reason I call it, I know this one is actually yours. I was putting it
Oh, it's
together.
mine.
Yeah.
Yay.
And so you just gotta let me know what your t-shirt size is so I can
Okay.
make it and get it to you. But the me before we is pretty much I came out with a 14-day challenge of self identity.
Mm.
Okay. And it goes along with the e-workbook that I have. I could either send it as an e. I don't have any hard copies on me. But this t-shirt, is like this particular slogan, I love because I feel as though people need to know their self. Just because you're in a relationship don't mean that you don't know yourself. It means
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes you might be in a relationship and sometimes we lose sense of who we are. We
Mm.
lose sense of our identity
All the
because
time.
we done took over our spouse's identity. We done took over the children.
Children.
And it's like we done
Mm-hmm.
put ourselves in everybody else that we forget about ourselves.
Facts.
And so the me before we basically symbolizes that I'm making this choice to choose me.
Mm.
I'm making a choice to choose me right now before anything and everything else. And so
I like it, Doc. I like it. I like it.
yeah, so that's the com box, and the
We have
boxes
to put
are
ourselves first at times in order
mm-hmm.
to be able to help anyone else. You have to be
Yes.
good.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give
Nope.
what you do not have. You cannot.
Exactly.
So if you focus
Yeah.
on you, you will have to give to others.
Exactly.
That is
Because the thing is, a
very
lot
good.
of people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that.
Stacy wants to see it again. Hey, Stacy. Yes. So I'm
Oh
gonna
my,
be
y'all know.
interviewing Stacy soon. Let me just announce it.
Cool.
I'm gonna be
Yay.
interviewing Stacy soon because I stalk her page from time to time, and I
Mm-hmm.
think Stacy makes some amazing products. Like she hand paints things and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, and I think Stacy's products are really dope. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
have Stacy on soon too. I think it's Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm
So
definitely
we're
gonna be
gonna talk
on
about Stacy's.
watching
Mm-hmm.
because I want to
So
learn about all her stuff too.
yes, Stacy has some dope things, guys. Don't sleep on
Yeah, I
Stacy.
know she has shea butter and stuff because I had her on my show back a few months ago, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a minute, all you people got products and
Yes.
nobody's talking. It was right before Christmas.
And
Matter of
Shanta with the
fact,
cups.
cups, yeah,
They have some amazing, talented people on here, guys.
yeah,
For real.
yeah. And the thing is like my thing is, I feel as though everybody should feel comfortable enough to show it.
Yes.
Show your greatness. Let everybody knows. I mean, me and Spiritual show our greatness all the
All the
time.
time.
All the time. We showing our greatness. The Gossip and Heifer showing their greatness all the
All the
time.
time.
We all
So,
out here.
Doc, how can we get the box? You didn't say.
Okay, so you can get the box. You could either DM me and I can send you the link, or it's actually a link inside of my Instagram profile
Mm-hmm.
in my link tree. So if you go through my link tree, you'll be able to order a box, and I'll get the boxes out. So I am shipping all boxes through UPS.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get the box in a few days.
Okay.
I try to send it out
So it's
by the end of the
Dr.
week.
Angra,
Nope, is I'm gonna type it
Angra
down here.
Doctor.
Anger. Yep, Anger Dr. Tyra.
Mm-hmm. So she's gonna she's gonna type it. I'm gonna pin it, and you guys follow her so you can go to the website for your box or anything that she has there, because she has some other great products there too, guys. I be looking at
Yep.
her boxes like, yeah, Doc, you need to come put mine together.
It's getting together. It's getting together. I tell you, they got they done set Instagram up so
Okay.
differently now. It's all cool. But I do
Yes.
appreciate you having me on today. Oh, I love it. We
Yes,
definitely need to
yes,
have more
Libra. Go on her page
conversations.
and look. You will see she'll, like, hand paint the tops of her products and
Mm-hmm.
cups and all these things. She has a lot of
Yeah.
amazing things. I thought
Mm-hmm.
she was just, an opinionated smart mouth. Right? But when I went on her page, I'm like, yo, she's actually
I
really
love you,
talented.
spiritual. She said I thought she was an opinionated smart.
She reminds me a lot of my sister. She's really quick with it too, in the comments and on live. Like Stacey be like, "What I say? What I say?"
You know what? But at the end of the day, look, I love Stacy. She
I
speaks
do
her
too.
truth. She speaks her truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
the
told
thing
you she
is,
reminds me of my
sometimes,
sister.
and it's like sometimes it's like we be on live, we see people, and we see so many people backpedaling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like my thing is, be who you are. But granted, on these virtual streets, we get whatever.
Okay, you not bullying Stacey. I'll tell you that right now.
You get whatever,
You not
but after a
bullying
while,
Stacey.
right. But the thing is like, and it was one thing I wanted to, talk about too was, the comments, when people be making comments, and the flow of the comments today, in your platform was so awesome. You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean?
Thank
Because
you.
the thing is, everybody was being respectful. Everybody was, staying on topic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like sometimes when we are, hosting lives and things like that, it's hard for us to catch every
Every
comment
comment.
that comes
Mm-hmm.
through, And I mean, last night I was made aware of some things that went on in my comments, and I was just like, are you serious? I'm like,
Mm.
and I was trying to catch, every comment it was, and it was just like, I'm just like, what I said, okay, do I deal with people or just let them be, and me being who I am, I said, I'll let them be, because my thing is, I'll let my God handle them,
Mm.
for their messiness,
Mm.
in my thread, um,
You got to start lighting incense and setting your intentions before you come live, Doc. I told you.
but you know what? I took and I sprayed some lemon and sage spray before I went
Mm-hmm.
live yesterday.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, my intentions was totally good.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can't win. We can't wean the trolls
Yeah, I know.
and the fake trolls. Because the thing is, but what was really good was I didn't have any trolls
Mm.
in my live yesterday. This was somebody we knew.
Oh, wow.
that was being read. You see what I'm saying? That's why I
Listen,
said I'm gonna let my God handle you.
we can't see all the comments, and if we're interviewing and someone is speaking, it's kind of rude
Hmm.
to stop and say hello, 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 hello. So we
Right,
see
right,
you.
right.
Hi, thanks for joining.
Yes,
Continue to
yes.
share, right?
Hmm.
And stuff like that. We really do
Yeah,
appreciate each and every person that takes their
we
time to
do.
log in and tune
Yes,
in and
we
and
appreciate each
interact
and
in the
every one of
comments,
y'all. Yes.
right?
Hey,
So we
Dr.
do.
Wasina.
But
Yes, we appreciate
I
everyone,
don't
but
have children on live, so I think everybody
mhm.
should be good, right?
Yeah, I will hope so.
Right?
But we ain't talking nothing. We ain't talking nothing dirty, dirty. Look.
It's like, really, like, I do have a few
Hmm.
teens and tweens that follow,
Yes.
and that's why I
Hmm.
kind of try to keep it clean, as much
Yes.
as I possibly can.
Hmm. Hmm.
But because promise to make myself accessible to anybody who, wants to talk, open up, need help, or
Oh
whatever the case
yeah.
may be. And
Yep.
because I have
Hmm.
children of all ages, stages, I want to make myself
Yeah.
accessible to them as well. So that's why I try to
Exactly.
keep it clean as possible. I have a private page that if I wanted to
Hmm.
get a little adult,
You'll go there,
I can go
right?
over there.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
and this is like on this page, I try to keep everything as professional as possible, even though this is not. What's up, Dr. Wasina? Even though this is not my like my practice page is a whole nother page than this one,
Natasha,
and it
don't be
was like
shy.
so fun. Hey, don't be shy,
Don't be
Natasha.
shy.
But we
This
know
is a
everybody
safe
doesn't like
space.
to come. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We know everybody doesn't like to come live,
Hmm.
and don't feel bad
Yeah.
because believe it or not, it was people out there trying to make people feel bad for not coming live,
And
and I'm just
I've been
like,
live with people, but it's not every time I'm gonna be able to or want to.
right,
And that doesn't
right,
mean I have a problem with the person. I just
yeah.
not right now or today.
Sometimes not exactly, but the thing is people being rude to people for that. And my thing is, no, you need to respect people, respect their privacy, respect what they got to do. Now, if it's a situation like I was in a Zoom this morning for something, and they said from the beginning, please do not turn your cameras off,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody had the camera off the whole time.
Wow.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And it
Yes,
was
push
because
talk. I burn
but at the
sage or incense, some form of incense every
hmm
time before I go live and set my
look, I
intention.
got that from you.
Yes, and I set my
Look,
intention
that
for
was
when I
pertinent
before I hit that
information.
button. I want it to be peaceful.
Hmm.
I want everybody to be able to understand and resonate with what we're going to talk
Yes.
about. And I try
Hmm.
to stay on topic, but a lot of people are interested in the spirituality.
Hmm.
So even though you try to stay on topic, everybody has questions.
Yes.
And that's why
Yes.
I
I
like to do
mean,
the workshops because,
hmm
then they can actually ask the question. Because if I can't see it in the comments,
hmm
on the Zoom, you can kind of raise your
hmm
hand and chime in and speak and stuff
yeah.
like that. So that's why I try to do the workshops as much as possible so I can answer as
Yeah.
many questions as possible.
And your workshops is awesome. The last
Thank you.
workshop you had was awesome. And I was like, oh crap. I was like, I some things I need to do. I was like, I gotta go back to spiritual sight. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I was like, I need to schedule. I need
Hmm.
to do.
Yeah. So intention is everything, guys. It does
You got
work.
that right.
Since I was afraid to come live.
Hmm.
When I started the
Hmm.
business, I started March 22nd will be a year, and I didn't
Oh,
start coming live
nice.
until like a couple months ago. And
Okay.
everybody was saying, you need to go live, you need to go live. And I was saying, I'm working
Hmm.
on it, I'm fasting about it, it's in prayer,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if I had gone live before I felt ready, I probably wouldn't have had the same effect because you would have
Yeah.
seen the
No.
nerves, you would have seen
Hmm.
everything else. So it was my intention to come out here and be as
Hmm.
authentic as possible and to be as
Of course.
inclusive and respectful as possible. And I
Hmm.
think I've done that. So
Yes. I
whenever
mean,
I
it
see
becomes
something that I don't like,
overwhelming.
block is
Hmm.
my friend.
Yeah, Block is my friend too, but you know what? It was like I didn't catch all of it,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh my goodness, and I apologize to everybody that was there, and might have seen stuff or heard stuff, that
Aw.
wasn't right. And I apologize to you because I know you was in there too, whatever. But
I was in and out
I
because
said,
I
but
had
I
went live
will.
earlier
Okay, yeah.
with Hello Nurse, and
Oh
so I
God,
was
right.
getting a
I jumped in there real
lot
quick and did, yeah, and
of
I had a
messages.
client. I had to jump out because I had a client.
Yeah. So I was getting a lot of messages back to back to back to back. So I was in and out, in
Hmm.
and out, in and out. But people just need
All
to,
right, 322 push talking. You giving us lottery numbers. How about 322? Gotcha. Gonna play it pick three.
yeah.
Well, play the pick three. I hope you hit.
And
But
spiritual is my first Virgo that I love.
oh,
I love you
spiritual.
too, Libra.
You are an
Thank
amazing
you.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
And love you to death. You have a very good spirit
Thank
about
you.
you. That's why
Thank
you're
you.
spiritual essentials. You have a wonderful personality. It's like I love seeing you, your bubbly face. It's
Aw,
like
thank
between
you. Thank
you,
you. Thank you.
it's like I only have a handful of people that I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll do whatever because
Sometimes
I
when I
know
see
they got
spiritual,
good.
I be looking like who they talking about because I'm munchy.
You so you,
I'm used to
you a
going by
mess.
Munchie, right?
And
So
now
every
people
time
call
it's
you
like
spiritual.
my
You
new
like
name
what
is
the who's
spiritual.
that? You trying to wait, but you trying to figure out
Yes. Yeah.
Ah,
So now I'm
so
getting used to it.
now you get used to it. Okay, Miss Spiritual. Now you get used to it. But you are an awesome human being,
Thank
and you
you.
offer so much good advice, and your spiritual guidance that you provide all of us here on IG, is great. I am so happy, that I have met you and everything, and I do consider you a friend. I consider you a friend,
Same
sister,
here. Same
you
here.
know.
Same here.
And
I
so,
love
yes,
you and the gossiping
yes,
heifers.
yes, I love them also, and I love Dr. Tachi. I have loved a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people in the live this evening.
Yes.
We love all
I
of
love
you.
all of my spiritual essentials family members. I love all of
Yes,
my clients and supporters and sister friends and brother friends that's become,
yes, sister and brother
helping.
friends.
Yes, I love it. I
Yes,
love it. They
yes, because
they
we have a
listen.
lot of good brother friends that's in this live also, like Alex and
The
Push
amount
and
of love and support
and
that I've
Larry and
gotten
all of
here
them, and
is
Emma.
amazing.
We love you too, Emma. I mean, it's just
Yes.
is the support that we get is awesome out here. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And as long as we keep spreading the positive energy and the positive energy
Love
and the
you too,
love
sweet mellow.
every ways, as long as we keep spreading all of this energy, hopefully it'll start, affecting everyone,
Yes.
and they'll start feeling all of the positive energy and the positive love that we're, giving to everyone, because all of this is authentic.
Yes, Tia, love you too.
Love
So
you
it's
too,
it's
Tia.
trust me, I've the amount of support and love that I've gotten through
Hmm.
spiritual essentials is like I can't even express or explain it.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
just give it all back. Thank you guys, appreciate it. And
Yeah.
Dr. Tyra, I know this is not going to
You
be
know
our
what?
last time.
I'm a hurt though. I'm a hurt Michelle. She said everybody but Shanita.
Yeah, everybody but Shanito.
Everybody but
Shanito
Shanita.
is the most supportive
He is.
instigator
He
on
is.
Instagram.
He is. He is.
I tell
He
people that all the
is.
time. He supports everybody and instigates all the time.
I love him to pieces. Look, he was missing for a few days. Here I go. What happened to you? I'm like this. I was making sure you wasn't kidnapped. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, but I just took a couple of days off. I was like, yeah, okay.
Dr. Evil.
Like you gotta text us before
Hmm.
you go take it off.
But look out for me and Stacey Bay's interview on
Yes,
Wednesday,
yes, we will be
okay?
watching,
Because I want
watching,
everybody to see
watching,
her
watching.
amazing products,
Yes, and Stacey, you
okay?
better have all your products out because we do want to see them,
Yes,
Miss
yes.
Missy.
I want everybody to get to see Stacey's stuff. She's dope.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
thank you all for joining us. I'm gonna go
Yes,
make dinner, make everybody eat
yeah. Go
and stuff.
feed them kids and the hubby girl.
What
Oh,
time
push.
Wednesday? I think it's 4 o'clock too. Like me and
It's
Doc.
four,
But
4
she's
o'clock.
on
West
yeah,
Coast.
she's on the West Coast. So
So she'll
I
be 1 o'clock her time and four
yeah,
o'clock our time.
yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
All
Is
right.
she
Well, we
here?
are
Stacy, are
definitely.
you here?
Uh,
I don't know if she's here. I don't know if she's still here, so she can
Still here. Yeah,
confirm.
she might have. Yeah, she
Right?
might have dipped out.
So I'll post it though, push talk.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Okay,
No,
bye.
4 o'clock our time push. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard.
Yeah, 4 o'clock Eastern
4
Standard.
p.m. Eastern Standard,
Yeah.
and 1 o'clock PST.
She's here.
Is she in here? She might have scouted out
Hey,
somewhere.
radio.
What's up, Antonio?
All right. So,
All righty.
bye, guys.
All right.
All
Have a good night.
right. Bye bye.